It's a brutal scene, screams of pain, chaos machine, kick out crew, we're ready for the fight, breaking bones, taking it to the height. In the face of darkness, we rise as one. With every blow, our spirit won't be undone. KOC is here, never back down. Bring the pain, you better feel our crowd. Down songs on, kicking it into gear. Bodies collide, the pain is crystal clear. Kick out into the battle's just begun. We'll fight till the end, we won't be undone.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fun episode of your show. That's right, it's the Kickout Crew. I want to thank everybody for joining us last week. Thanks for your questions and comments, and you can leave those on our social media. It's Kickout Crew. I want to thank everybody for watching the video. That's right, it's on Premier Wrestling's YouTube and the Premier app, and you can get that there, and you can listen to us wherever you listen to your podcast. That being said, we had a fun last week. Boy, that ECW scramble match, huh? Tons of fun. And but that's just a precursor to this week, because this week is going to be a lot more fun because hey, it's your show and we're here to sit back and relax and ease your troubles. That being said, welcome everybody to the show. We got the whole crew here, so let's get it started. And man, Brad, I know you have a lot to say this week, so let's go with that rant and Stanton.
Yeah, not ranting this week too much. I know it's on the outline though. Heyo. So last week on Saturday, Matt M, friend of the show, went to the last match. It's a musical actually, at the ECW arena. It says it starts at 6 o'clock, so I usually work till 5 o'clock plus on a Saturday, so I was able to get out a little early and leave at 4. I get there at 4:50, and man, oh man, the parking space was A-okay. Right up front, and for those of you that are not watching us on Premiere, there's a nice picture of me and Matt toasting right in front of the last match. BFF, best friends forever. He's a little mad at me right now, but that's okay.
You wearing the purple shirt?
What? Yeah, he's wearing it. And I'm like, you're not going to be on TV. He goes, no, I got to wear it. And so yeah, I get there at 4:50, perfect parking space. There's about 20 parking spaces outside of the ECW arena. Everything else is off street. So I was like, man, this is, I might just leave it here until the next time I come and just Uber home. But of course I didn't do that. So I'm at 4:50 and I text Matt and he says his ETA earlier was said 5:40. I'm like, 5:40? Now this thing starts at 6. I'm like, 5:40? This guy doesn't know the area. This is shit ass parking. I can barely find my way around. He's going to get here and not be able to park, and we're going to be late going in. Anyway, so then I'm walking around the city, like just trying to, because he wants to do something after. And I wanted to go to the place Xfinity Live where I went to during WrestleMania week, and I find out Morgan Wallen's in town. There's no parking at Xfinity Live. The whole city's there. So I'm trying to think of something else to do, and I'm walking around, and then he says he parked. I'm like, oh, great, 5:30. And I'm like, why did he park? Why was it so easy for him? He's more neurotic than I am. So then he rolls up, and it's there. By the way, they're not letting us in the building, and it's 5:30. I'm like, this is odd. Usually they let you in about an hour before. So then 5:45 comes, and they're finally saying, we're going to let you in about 5 minutes. I'm like, what the hell is this? We're going to get there, and it starts in 10 minutes? So we get in, and they say they're going to, somebody in the line says they're going to start a little late. Not a big deal. So we're waiting in line for a drink, and come to find out, it doesn't start till 7. So then his face is like, Brad, I can't go out after. I gotta get home. It's Mother's Day tomorrow. We got brunch. And I'm like, it's okay, Matt M. We're gonna be just fine. We'll have some drinks now since we have an hour before the show, and then we'll do it after. Because yeah, that makes good sense. That makes good sense. So we're in line. There's these beer signs, and he's never been to the ECW arena before. So it just says IPA. He goes, is that just any IPA? Apparently any IPA will do. Yeah, they don't even label it. It's just so funny. Got a picture in the bathroom because when you're at ECW Arena for the first time, you got to go in the bathroom and get a picture next to the mural. I go, it's not weird, Madam, because we're gonna go over by the sinks, so everything's fine. So we did that, and then we had a drink. We were sitting down. So then it gets ready to get started, and we're in the second row. Now, if you know Matt, there we are in the bathroom there. If you know Matt, he's always in the front row of all these AEW shows. He pays up, him and a yellow shirt guy, to sit in the front row of the AEW shows. But for some reason here, we got second row. And I know we're not on TV, but it just seems like it's really cramping the style. You want to know something funny? The first row was $100. The second row is $40. Now, I'm telling you, if you've ever been to this arena, it is like we're 10 feet from the ring in the second row. Why in the world would you pay $100 for this first row experience when, I mean, I'm just flicking the guy in the back of the head. You know what I mean? So smart move on that one. Some of the people in the musical, Mickey James was in it. You're gonna have to help me with his last name. He was the one for Rusev Day, Matthew Rewalt. He's announcer now for Impact, and he was, Rusev Day. So yeah, he was a big part of the show.
What's his WWE name?
Aiden English.
Aiden English, part of the Vaudevillains. I remember that. Mackenzie Mitchell. So then you had Alpha Jr., right? Now that's part of the Samoans, Alpha Jr. So every time he walked by, we put the finger up in the air. He definitely acknowledged it, okay? Definitely acknowledged it. But then he came out as a Russian one time, and we still put the finger in the air, and he goes, no, I'm Russian right now. So they were definitely interactive. There was some ECW originals there, or fan favorites. Danny Doring was there. He was playing a big heel, like cleaning house, and then Little Guido came out. Gene Snitsky came out, and he grabbed the baby, and he kicked the baby into the crowd, and I caught the blanket, which was very exciting. I had to give it back though.
What?
Which I was okay with, of course.
No, I would have kept it.
Just very funny that this is a scripted show about a scripted show, but they were also doing, a lot of different things and getting the crowd into it. And it was a lot of fun. Normally the one part, is played by, Matt Cardona. Unfortunately, he did not make this one, but he was in Queens the night before. So that would have been really cool, but that's okay. It was fun anyway. It was pretty ridiculous, the whole show. I was like, wrestling meets the Rocky Horror Picture Show, if that makes sense. Like, I don't really know what's going on, but I think I like it. Matt kept saying, yeah, this is fun. This is like great, but I still don't know what's actually happening. I'm like, yeah, I'm with you on that. So, and at the same time, they were recording everything because they were doing a docuseries on it. So maybe we can get in on that. But other than that, that's it for me this week. I just want to give a shout out to Tommy Billington. I don't know if you guys saw him last week on, I think it was Rampage or Dynamite. I think actually it wasn't Rampage, it was Collision. And that
easy. I'm talking about that later, so be easy.
So that's all I had for this week. Back to you, James.
Hell yeah. I appreciate that ranting, man. You went off. Good stuff.
I
got a question.
Maybe.
Sure.
Do you call him Matt M in person too?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Fantastic.
Well, let's do the time warp. I guess keep this going. It's time for Mike's electric sliding board. So, Mike, what you got for us?
Well, the first thing I got is fucking internet. So shout out to that.
Is it better than it's been?
Only took 2 years of doing the podcast to get you some internet.
No, I just ain't got much going on this week. Of course, last week I mentioned I was going camping, so had a wonderful, 2 days out there, took the kids out there. And, for any of y'all that have never done it, try it. Go out there for a day or two. You have no power, no running water, no cell phone service, nothing. And it'll make a big difference. I had more of a connection with my kids those 2 days than I have in a while. It was just us hanging out by the creek, whether, going fishing, taking a hike, and the first night we had the little hammock set up, and I was sitting there laying in the hammock, and my daughter, crawled up in the hammock. We're sitting there looking at the stars. I mean, there's nothing around. We got no cars, no nothing, and fantastic time. So if you never tried it, just give it a whirl. Take 2 days without your phone. Put your phone in the damn car, and go out there and go camping and have a good time. Spend time with the family like that and see what turns out. Which then, of course, the girls, they get their attitude and start fighting, screaming, yelling, and we go for a hike and same damn road, which walking right up, see the campsite where we're at, and I got my one daughter. We are lost, pitching a fit because she thinks we are lost. But I mean, all that stuff just it comes from good memories. Spend time with your family while you can, because you never know.
So I have gone camping before. I don't know if you're talking directly to me, but I have gone camping. I actually have an uncle and has passed on, but he left it to my other uncle. They have a camp. They hunt there, they fish there.
Mhm.
I never belonged there. Okay, so they were all hunters and fishers. I actually like hunting, but I remember them just saying stuff like, "Don't wash that hair; it's mountain hair. Don't brush those teeth; it's mountain teeth." And then they'd have a
Exactly.
farting. Then they'd have bean soup and have a farting contest. Get the fuck out of here! All right, get me back in my house with the air conditioning. Where I can use a bathroom. There's no time for that nonsense.
Listen, like one of the best parts. It wasn't real good, but it was good. I mean, we were still. I mean, it's not hot right now. We're in our 70s. We get up to 80s, but then while we're there camping, at night, it was still in like the 50s and stuff. We got a running creek, which all year long the water's cold anyways. My daughter was playing in the creek and she came up, to get something to drink or something. And this girl is blue because her body is so cold. But she's having so much fun. She's wanting to go right back to the creek and play. I'm like, no. Wait a minute. You got to stand by the fire and warm up or something. Because, I mean, you're asking, I'm not cold. I'm going to go right back in it. Like, which that's how kids are. I guess they don't feel fucking cold. I don't know. Like, I didn't want to fucking piss in the water because that shit was so cold. But, I mean, it's fun. It's a time to relax. You relax your mind. And, just have ease. You're away from everybody, away from everything. And, have a good old time.
Lovely.
Second night, there was a little bit more help there. Mr. Devin knows about this one, which made it even better. But both nights we were actually there when we had the Northern Lights go on. So, like I said, middle of the woods, you can see thousands of stars in the sky. There's no city lights, no nothing. And we got to see some of those Northern Lights. And I know I sent in a group chat for you guys, but that right there was an amazing thing to see. Like that was like a once in a lifetime, anything could happen, type deal. But yeah, just go out.
That's really cool.
Everybody try it. Even if you got somewhere where you got power and everything else, turn your phone off, get disconnected from the world for a day or two, and see how much that damn relaxes you. Because I'm telling you, it's well worth it.
That is never mind.
Hell yeah, sounds fun. Sounds exciting. I like camping. But you know what else I like? I put on Facebook, I'm busy again with Adam. So Adam, what else you got going on now?
Well, apparently I'm busy. So I'm
Another
surprised
busy
I had enough,
weekend.
I'm surprised I had enough time to get these results for the week in wrestling. I'm very surprised I had enough time.
Us too.
Because I don't know what I'm busy doing other than Friday and Saturday night. Because I'm a referee. I don't know if y'all knew that. But try to get through this fairly fast if that's possible. SmackDown, it was Nia Jax defeated Naomi, Queen of the Ring, King of the Ring tournament all night. Going through the week through Monday. So I'll get to all that later. But Nia Jax defeated Naomi. Carmelo Hayes beat Baron Corbin, which was actually a damn good match. Jade Cargill beat Piper Niven. Good match.
Good match.
Yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah, it was.
I wouldn't be surprised if they start pushing Piper for something a little bit more because we're seeing her more. Have y'all noticed that?
I thought they blew it before. I thought that whole shaming thing was a really good idea because she would become the biggest babyface because of it. But I think they put the brakes on for obvious reasons.
She had a big spot in the Battle Royal a couple weeks ago as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I could see that.
Bianca Belair beat Candice LeRae. It was kind of a lopsided match. I mean, it was good. Tama Tonga beat Angelo Dawkins. I think Angelo was kind of stuck in there last minute because who was in it? Bobby Lashley, I think, was originally supposed to be in it.
Do we know why he's hurt, or
They say he got hurt working out.
Not surprising. Was he lifting a bridge?
I mean, how jacked do you have to be at 50 years old?
I mean, he's amazing. He looks the same as he did 20 years ago.
Yeah, he hasn't changed a
if
bit.
not better?
Yeah.
That's not fair at all.
No.
Orton and AJ Styles had a damn good match. And there was a couple of dark matches. Braun Strowman beat Shinsuke Nakamura. And Jey Uso beat Gunther on SmackDown. It was unexpected to see that.
Very unexpected.
But let's see here. That was SmackDown. So Collision, BCC over Top Flight. Not bad match. Will Ospreay, Lee Moriarty. Dude, Lee Moriarty is underrated. He's super good.
Hey, did you say Jey Uso beat Gunther?
Gunther by DQ.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it was disqualification.
Yeah, all right. I'm good
I
now.
don't know how. I didn't. But yeah, he beat him by DQ.
All right.
And then
Sorry.
I heard Braun Strowman annihilated Shinsuke. I mean, like, brought the floor with Shinsuke. And that sucks because we all know how good he is. But no, I think Lee Moriarty's really underrated, underutilized because he's so good. And with Will Ospreay, he can have a damn good match with a broomstick. Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony over. I put jobbers, but I wrote the real names. Evan Rivers and the Veros twins. But Daniel Garcia over KM, which was Kevin Matthews. And shout out back to Brad for wanting to step all over my segment here. Dax Harwood and the Dynamite Kid Tommy Billington was by God, a damn good match. And how young is he, Brad? Did you?
No, I don't think he's as young as you think because he's been around a little bit. Because he has been in MLW. He did do some there because he has a tag team partner, and they're kind of playing on the gimmick. But they look so small. Like a couple years ago, he's not a big guy. He's like the Dynamite Kid, but he looks a little bit bigger now. But they were also with Davey Boy Smith Jr. So
Yeah, but he's such a big guy, though. I mean, we all seen how big he is.
he is, and he was out with him one of the shows I went to. So they weren't with him long though. I think it was a year and a half or so.
I think Davey Boy Jr. is supposed to be at the Battle Royale 6 in Atlanta coming up in June. So hopefully I'll get to see him. But Thunder Rosa beat Robin Renegade. That was a whole lot better than I thought it was going to be.
What are they doing? Is Robin Renegade signed or not signed? And when are they going to push the Renegade twins? Because I'm not saying they're the Bella twins or anything like that. I'm not saying you have to do that right away, but there is something there, and they're very talented and aggressive. They kick ass all over the independent circuit. I don't know if everybody realizes that. Like, they could be the star attraction. And then here they put on a decent match for a few minutes and then they get beat. So I'm just curious of what the plan is long term with them, and what their contract positioning is, or they're just coming for a daily payday. I don't know.
It's kind of like they're in limbo. They're not really greenhorns or nothing, but they've been around for a while. But
I think they're late 20s.
They were always on AW Dark, and they've been on Ring of Honor pretty recently too.
Okay,
so.
I don't watch Ring of Honor. I don't, because I'd have to.
I do once in a while, but
why would I pay?
I mean, we can't have just so much wrestling in a week.
Yeah, why would I pay for that? I no.
And then, of course, Adam Copeland and Kyle O'Reilly beat the hell out of each other. Adam Copeland won, but it was a good match. Monday Night Raw, Io Sky over Shayna Baszler, Queen of the Ring tournament. Gunther over Kofi Kingston, King of the Ring tournament. Bronson Reed over Akira Tozawa. Why? I don't know. But I'm starting to like what the Alpha Academy's doing. How they're I don't know, I was like the whole deal. Oh, does anybody watch what is the yacht show Below Deck or whatever? Do y'all know any? Do y'all ever watch
I've
that?
seen a couple of
show?
Is that where they like rent out a yacht and they have a bunch of people out
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching Below Deck Mediterranean, I think it was, and there was this chick on here. I want to say her name was Skylar or something like that. And I'll be damned, it was old girl from Alpha Academy. Before she started wrestling, it was here.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, why she
Maxine?
looks so damn familiar? And that was really her. So shout out to Below Deck before she become Alpha Academy.
Maxine Dupree.
Thank you.
Yes, Maxine, yeah.
And I'm Brad Stanton.
And
That's
I'm
Devin
Mike Whitaker.
Dowling, Adam from Bama, Mike Whitaker, and James Elkerai. And Brian in the back.
Mine says
Remsa.
ref Adam. Let's say Adam from Bama. Because I'm referee, Brad, you know?
Whatever.
Oh, yeah, so now it's Ref Adam. It's not
I don't know
Adam.
if you knew that or not.
Adam from the U-Haul. That's a callback.
Well, like episode 5 or 10 or something. I
Duh.
don't ever want to do that again. Lyra Valkyria over Zoe Stark, which kind of surprised me. Because they were pushing Zoe Stark there for a little bit.
I don't even know what to do with her.
Trish Stratus. And what are they doing?
I don't think they know what to do with her. I don't think she has enough personality for WWE main roster right now, and they're trying to figure it out.
I thought she was good fit with Shayna. Like just
Yeah,
them two as a
but-
badass tag team.
But if you're leaning on Shayna, who's not quite over, I don't know. Like, I think it is a good fit, but I need Shayna. Shayna just needs to be that destroying beast like she was when she first started. That worked. And then it's just cut it off.
Maybe they need a mouthpiece. There's quite a few managers in AEW. There's like none in WWE.
Maybe.
Yeah, Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler need some kind of reset or something. They even showed something on like WWE, like the backstage, like the social media stuff, where she's like, "Oh, I gotta do something different." So maybe we'll get a different side of her, like she was back in NXT, because she went like a year and a half without getting beat.
Shayna?
Yeah, she was a badass back in NXT.
She didn't win that much in UFC.
That surprised me because
Well, I mean, they all lose. There's no undefeated, I mean, but
yeah, I know I see him Punk. He'll tell you.
he's still a tough guy. I'm not,
I sure as hell wouldn't do it.
0-2 in the UFC's 5-0 here.
Right.
Yeah, no, 0-2 still sounds better than me even stepping in that damn place.
Jack Swagger's the exact opposite. He's undefeated in the cage. I don't think I've ever seen him win in the ring.
I've never seen him in the ring.
Down
He's
here.
getting paid pretty damn good though,
Hot wife.
just to go around and say, "I like this hat. Hey, I'll pay me half that money. I'll do that shit."
I really hate that, by the way. Go ahead. That hat thing. I hate it. I hate it.
I like this hat, but I'm not going to rap about
That
it.
can't be your gimmick. It cannot be your gimmick.
No, because I got several more hats. I like all my hats.
It's a hat on a hat. The callback, guys.
Gimmick on a gimmick. Sami Zayn over Otis, Becky Lynch over Dakota Kai. Not a bad match. Judgment Day new number 1 contenders for the tag titles. And Jey Uso over Ilya Dragunov. Badass match.
And that's the one I was thinking about when you were talking about Gunther. And the thing is like that really that solidifies Jey Uso for me even more because you bring someone in to win, and he doesn't, and then Jey Uso beats him. So Jey Uso really does have a chance at maybe what is he going to be in the championship against Gunther and his King of the Ring?
That might be it. Which I
I mean,
would
it
much
makes
rather
sense.
see
It makes
Gunther
sense.
Ilya Dragunov.
Well, no, can they go against each other?
I don't know if they're in the same
Wow.
side or not. I can't remember. It would make. I mean, I don't remember, but come on.
I think
Thanks
I
a lot,
think
Mike.
he,
Blowing up
he
my
needs
spot.
he needs something for a single. I mean, he's been doing a hell of a job as a single.
I think
I,
they should-
I'm not,
I think he
did
needs
y'all
to
see
be
the little
one-
face off they had?
he needs to be the one. He needs to take the IC title off of Sammy. Give him that IC
Dragunov.
title.
no, he means Jay, right?
Oh, Jay.
Give him that IC title.
Yeah.
Just give it to him.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hand it to him.
There you go.
They're gonna
Just
run from
Sammy.
him. Sammy's gonna say, "Hey, man, I owe you so much. You did this for me. You're gonna kick my ass anyways. Here's the title. Done."
But since he's had so many world title opportunities and getting beat, would it feel like a consolation prize to one of y'all?
But there was always some kind of interference. That last one, there was all that interference in it.
Interference in a championship match? Get out of here.
Judgment Day? No, I don't believe that at all.
Saying
I'm still
they're doing
waiting.
good with it. They're not beating them clean. So
And then Dynamite, as we recorded last night, Moxley, Bryan Danielson over Jeff Cobb, Kyle Fletcher. Not a bad match. I'd like to see more of Jeff Cobb. He's just a freaking badass.
By the way, we talked about he's been on AEW before. Why did we talk about it like he wasn't? He was.
Yeah, he's been on there a few
Moxley.
times.
yeah, but he's one of those guys that they just have on contract that shows up every.
Yeah, I didn't know I know he's been on before. I didn't know what his contract status was, but I saw him a ton a year and a half ago, right?
I think he signed in New Japan. So
Okay,
it might be part of the deal with Moxley being the champion that he's
gotcha.
coming over.
Yeah, because that's kind of who he's going after, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Man, he was on Lucha Underground too. He had a mask and stuff, and he was badass on Lucha Underground.
What do y'all think about with Tony Khan buying Lucha Underground? They said he's out to try to buy it.
Oh, I don't know what to think.
You think? It's a smart
At
move.
the same time, Vince buys TNA, right?
Lucha Underground's been dead for at least 5 or 6 years. There's nothing for him to buy.
I was about to say, what is he buying? Just the video log?
He gets the video
library.
Video. Yeah, library. There you go.
But is it worth it? Or
I don't know. Depends on what you get. Everything's worth it for the right price.
The first few seasons was good, then it just kind of veered away. Am I wrong by saying that, Brian? Did you ever get to watch any of it?
No, I completely agree.
Oh,
The first
Brad.
first two seasons were the best seasons. The last season, season 4, was just completely a waste of time. It didn't even need to really happen. But yeah, the first 2 seasons are the best.
Wasn't Rey Mysterio part of it at the beginning?
He came in season 2.
Okay.
Him and Ricochet or Prince Puma had a damn good match.
Yes.
Prince Puma.
It's good to have if you're gonna
AEW?
start a streaming network.
Dang.
Who would want to start a streaming network? Who would do that?
Shout out.
Tag team eliminator matches. I don't like these eliminator matches. They're dumb. They're a waste of time. Because I feel like if you're having a match with a champion, you beat the champion, you're the champion. So I got to beat you
Gotta
twice.
beat the champion twice.
Makes no sense.
No.
I thought that's always been the rule. I don't understand calling it an eliminator match. If you have a match against the
Exactly.
champion and the title's not on the line, I feel like automatically if you win, you earned a title shot.
It's just weird. Okay, I eliminated you. Big deal. So, eliminator match, if say Christopher Daniel and Matt Sydal, if they win, does that mean they eliminated the Young Bucks? Because it's an eliminator match. So what did they eliminate them from?
Contention.
It's stupid. Hook over Sebastian Wolf.
Well,
That
it
was-
turned
that was
out
a- that
that
was a long
Christopher Daniels, he ended up getting fired after that too. I don't know if you're gonna skip over that a little bit.
I kind of like that because they said, "How everybody now? Everybody give a hand for Christopher Daniels, AE-Dub." Like they're showing him respect.
Until we watch a YouTube video and there he is 2 weeks later still in the videos.
So funny.
Thought this guy got fired on TV.
Hey, Fabe.
And they need to quit doing them stupid being the elite videos, whatever they are.
It's all good. Shout out to the elite.
Or the Dark Order. That's what it is, the Dark Order now.
We'll be getting to them later.
So, Swerve Strickland over Brian Cage. Brian Cage went from being on Ring of Honor to now he's getting eliminator match chances.
All right. So here's the deal. Here's my opinion on this. that you couldn't associate that group with Swerve anymore. Swerve is a babyface. They were heels. Nana is the manager of both of them. They're not a group. You had to separate them. You had to. They were still heels. They weren't changing. They weren't part of this embassy thing anymore. That was over. As soon as you know what I mean? So something needed to happen just to say it's done. And that was it.
So let's give Brian Cage an Eliminator title shot.
Let's just get what is the man? What? Whatever.
It's just weird. They haven't done shit with him in weeks and weeks. And all of a sudden they try to push him to the top.
I really think he'd be more successful in WWE. I really do.
I think so. If
Like a
they use him,
Bobby Lashley type almost, you know?
I wish he'd go back to TNA because he did amazing at TNA.
That's what I mean. They do not use him right. Because he doesn't win. He's not a bit. You're overcoming someone that doesn't win, even though he's a monster looking guy. It's like Nia. She never wins. So what do you
Shayna.
They're supposed to be beasts or the most beatable beasts ever.
No, Shayna's a legit badass. You couldn't pay me enough to get into a fight with her. There's no way.
You can pay me enough. There's a number.
Most of it
Everybody's got a price.
A match that was better than I thought would be was Tony Storm, Holly Cameron. Holly Cameron's not bad in the ring, man. She's not bad.
I agree. I like Harley Cameron. I like Tony Storm. I like Mariah May. I like Soraya. I like them all.
Yeah, I'm ready for who's up against Tony Storm for the pay-per-view?
Serena Deeb.
Yes,
Came out on the
I'm ready to see her.
I tell you what, though, that promo last week was tough to get through, and I am a big Serena Deeb fan, but I'm just not sure what was happening in that promo. It was just very uncomfortable.
It felt like she changed her direction halfway in it.
Yeah, I mean, I do root for her.
Well, doesn't it kind of feel like? Doesn't it feel like Tony Storm's a babyface all of a sudden now?
She's getting cheered for, and so is Mariah May.
So you think they've swapped Serena Deeb?
I think it's the right. She's organically getting over. So people like Tony, people like Mariah May.
I love that. I love the promo she just cut.
And going
Dynamite.
Not Gunther. Luther.
Luther. So and then Kazuchika Okada over Dax Harwood. That had no business being that damn good.
Agreed.
That was probably the match of the week. Because that shit was amazing.
It was good. And I like the way it ended. I like all the stuff that happened.
Yeah, and shout out Darby. Who called Darby Allin coming back after getting hit by a bus 2 weeks ago?
What is going on? The guy is indestructible.
Dude broke his foot, got hit by a bus, and he's out there in the pink.
The bus thing will work? Because what the hell?
Was breaking his ankle at work?
What was going on with that coat he was wearing though?
I think it was to cover up because I think
It was awful. It was not a good punching coat.
It's almost a shout out to Dave LaGreca and what he did with the Cody Crybabies and the pink.
Yeah, the pink robe.
Yeah, that's almost what it made me think about first.
What happened to Kingston? Do you guys know?
He hit his legs or his heels or something on the guardrail or his shins or something.
So
I thought it was going to be Moxley, but
going back to Darby Allin, it was kind of hard to tell with the face paint, but it looked like he had tape on his nose.
maybe.
I mean, if he has a broken nose, I would think it. But also, if you pay close attention when you're watching that, it looks like he has like one of his boots is different from the other. So maybe like
look at this guy.
I'm just saying. I paid attention.
All right, so did Willow
you had to be
not
a
get
last call. I mean, you had to have somebody come in there. And what is it that Eric says? When you can't do it, you gotta go better.
I think Eric says better than, less than, or different than.
Greater than.
Whatever.
I'm just saying, I mean, who else would jump off a damn 10-story building to land on somebody with a broken foot already?
Yeah.
It's gonna be Darby Allin. So
Very true.
I mean, it's already broken. He can't break it again.
Good point.
Yeah, I mean, good point.
Not sitting, you're standing.
So, do you think Willow Nightingale and Mercedes, do you think they did enough in their contract signing to make it believable to y'all?
Yes, and I'm going to tell you why. I think it made Willow a full-on babyface, and it actually made Mercedes a heel completely.
I agree.
I think they have finally defined both. Well, I already knew Willow was a babyface, but they defined them both because the crowd was behind Willow, like at the end of that, and that's saying something. Like,
Willow
that's
is
saying
over.
something. Yeah, she is
Yeah.
over. I'm telling you, Willow might retain.
I don't think so. I
She
think
retains because Britt Baker comes out and distracts Mercedes Moné because she's the CEO and Britt Baker's the DMD, and I think there's a distraction makes Willow win.
I,
We have
Dennis always
DMD
fights
and
the CEO.
CEO.
I'm almost with you, Adam. I think Mercedes gonna win. She's gonna cheat. She's gonna do something.
She's definitely the heel.
Yeah, she's gonna do a something heelish to win, and that's when Britt Baker comes back, and Britt Baker is gonna be the baby face on that whole situation.
But all right, it was
Maybe
enough
for
for me to
Willow.
It was enough for me to get excited about the match.
I agree.
That's the best they've done with Mercedes since she's been here.
Yeah.
I want
And
to
I
put
hope
this
Willow
out there.
doesn't lose it. Go ahead.
I could see Chris Statlander turning on Willow and maybe costing her
Yeah.
that title.
Oh, there you go. See, that might be something good. And
She's
her
been
going
leaning
from-
off, and Willow's been like, "Don't worry, I got this." For the past couple weeks, like kind of shushing her back, pushing her back.
But
Devin, you
That's
hush
what
your
it
whore
is.
mouth. I don't want to see it.
when she said you didn't walk out of there with the champion, when she walked out with the championship, you didn't even walk out. That was pretty good.
That was
Yeah.
good.
I'm just saying,
Great
like,
line.
I mean, they're definitely pushing Mercedes as the heel on that one.
Now
Mm,
Conrad can
pretty
finally
much.
stop talking about it, huh?
And because I think they pushed too much to begin with. Coming in there, they gave her all this like props and all this everything else, and wasn't what they wanted.
Well, this is what I'm going to say. I think it's just that we're letting it play out. Like they haven't had her wrestle. We're letting it play out, and it's actually playing out now. Guys, sometimes you got to be patient with what they're doing, and I think AEW is doing a much better job of telling stories lately. So that's what everybody was bitching about. Now they're telling stories. They're like, just wrestle. Like, come on,
Right.
come
You
on,
can't-
man.
You can't
They're
please
starting
nobody.
to.
Not all the stories are going to be good. WWE's told a lot of bad stories.
Yeah.
That's true.
But that's the thing. If WWE can turn it around, I think AEW can too. And I think they're
I like the
trying.
storytelling. The storytelling's good.
I think they're trying.
Getting better.
I think they need to slow down on it. I think they tell their stories too fast.
And I'll tell you what, though, the Mariah May, like Tony Storm thing. Now, I thought for a while Tony Storm was going to go was still going to stay heel. Mariah was going to get the babyface reaction, and she was going to turn on her. And then everybody would go crazy for Mariah May. But now they're both getting cheered. So now you don't know. We'll see. Let it play out.
One more thing before we leave Dynamite. What about the Christian Cage versus Swerve like, after the match? Where I can't remember his name. I can't believe it's slipping my mind. Nick Wayne, yes, jumped Swerve from behind, and then the picture frame over Swerve's head. That was brutal. I thought
that was nasty, man, because he was dripping blood. That was nasty.
gruesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. By the way, NXT was good too. The end.
Yeah, all of NXT was good. That was. There's no sense of singling out a match. All of NXT was good.
Storytelling's good. It's all good.
Yeah. Their women's division.
Best there is. Best out of all the organizations.
And most
all the shows.
Most of their women's matches are better than the men's matches.
There's more women's stuff than men's stuff on the show.
And then shout out for a new Heritage Cup winner.
Yep. And Wesley's back.
Yeah, he's supposed to been out like a year. He got back like 3 months. 2-3 months early.
6 months early.
That's insane, dude. Supposed to been out a year.
He looked next to Obafemi though, he looked like he was 2 feet tall.
He's jacked, man. That's
Well, but it just showed how tall Wesley is too, though. Like, my goodness.
And then good promo between Will Ospreay and Roderick Strong. I think Will Ospreay, that was one of his strongest promos he's done.
Felt personal.
And I like that face to face. Oh yeah, anytime realism's in it, it makes it better.
Yeah, they know each other. You know.
It made it. I got more invested when they started talking about Ring of Honor and the history they got. I got more invested. So I'm really looking forward to that match. That might be the match of the night for the pay-per-view.
I like that because they didn't really have too much of a story right now, but in their history, they definitely have a story. And Tony Khan, who owns Ring of Honor, if people want to learn this history, they can definitely go back on the Honor Club and check it out.
And then call back to Brad saying hat on a hat. Malachi Black, Adam Copeland in a barbed wire steel cage match.
I think that's.
I'm bored with Adam. I'm bored with Adam Copeland.
They
Sorry,
ruined him.
I
worried
just
about
don't
him?
care. I'm just done. I don't care. I think he should retire. I think he's in his 50s.
I agree. I think he should.
I like him. I like Edge, but I'm just
He's pushing.
not going to save AEW.
I don't need to see him every week.
I don't need, and he's so intense about it.
Mhm.
He needs to be like a special attraction.
Yeah.
So what about the story they're going with? Like there's something messed up with him. Did they not do something like last week? They kind of started pulling the strings on all that.
Well, Malachi Black stole his damn wedding ring. That wasn't very nice.
Right?
Unless
You think
Unless Beth gets involved, now that would be awesome.
And she very much could. She's not contracted by WWE or anything, is she?
No, I don't know. It's
I
probably a
think it
legend.
ran out. I think
Yeah.
it ran out already.
I don't really know the legends. The Bully Ray makes it sound like that's nothing. So
I think that's just so they can sell merch.
yeah, and get paid on royalties.
Yeah.
Yeah, be in the game.
But that's it on my end, brother. Back to you.
All right. Well, another exciting week in wrestling. And you know what else is exciting? Today's agenda. So,
45 minutes in.
We got
Brian,
one match. We'll be all right.
what is today's agenda?
Man, I'm really glad I decided to read the outline in advance to know that this week we're going to be talking about Bray Wyatt. And
Talked about this
watching
last
back.
week, Brian. Come on.
Yeah, but I didn't see on the outline that it was me doing this part.
Yes, you did. You want to go back to check the text messages?
There's text messages? I didn't realize we had a chat going.
It wasn't part of the chat, Bryant.
But yes, we are covering Bray Wyatt today. I'm just trying to make Brad mad at this point.
Eh.
We must make dance.
Exactly. So, as said, we're covering Bray Wyatt, as you can see on our screen here. Born May 23rd, 1987. Was a big wrestler and also a standout football player, getting a scholarship to go play football at the College of the Sequoias Junior College in California before earning a scholarship to go play at Troy. During his time at Troy, he was plagued with some injuries. And then his brother, Taylor, who we know as Bo Dallas, decided to get into wrestling. And that was when Bray decided to go for his calling and become a wrestler, kind of going along with the family business of his dad, IRS, and his uncle, Barry Windham. Bray would go to FCW, where he would make his debut on TV in February of 2009. He would go under Alex Rotunda or Duke Rotundo, depending on the time frame. But he would get his first mainstream exposure in June of 2010 when he would be on NXT, at the time a game show contestant as Husky Harris.
Ooh.
So terrible.
He would compete on the game along with several other rookies. His pro for that season, does anybody know who his pro was?
Cody?
It was Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
After NXT, he would actually join the main roster, joining Nexus, helping Wade Barrett defeat John Cena at Hell in a Cell. He would stay a part of the Nexus kind of as a background character until 2011, when he would be written off TV and sent back to NXT. It was back in NXT where he would try to reinvent himself, and taking inspiration from Waylon Mercy and from Cape Fear, he would create Bray Wyatt.
Shout out.
Unfortunately, the injury bug would plague Bray to start his run in NXT, so he would need to form a family. So that would enter in Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. They would become kind of his, as he called him, his first and second son. Through the success, he would make his main roster debut in July of 2013, where he would attack Kane. His first match on the main roster would be a Ring of Fire match from SummerSlam of 2013, what we would know as an Inferno match. On the main roster, he had feuds with several notable names: Daniel Bryan, John Cena, Chris Jericho, Undertaker, Roman Reigns, His first championship would come in 2016, teaming with Randy Orton to win the SmackDown Tag Team titles. It would be through this rivalry that it would lead him to his first major singles championship, where he would win the WWE Championship in 2017 at Elimination Chamber. Unfortunately, his reign would only last for a month, where he would lose it to a projector screen and Randy Orton.
Muy terrible.
Horrible. He would then kind of be background character for most of the rest of the year until eventually feuding with Matt Hardy to introduce the Broken character into WWE. He would then be taken off TV, and then in 2019, we'd start seeing vignettes for puppets randomly on TV, which would then lead to the introduction of the Firefly Funhouse.
Woo!
And of course, coming with the Firefly Funhouse also brings The Fiend as well. The Fiend would have immediate, fast-rising success, winning the WWE Universal Championship within the first 3 months of his debut. And then he would unfortunately lose the title to Mike's favorite wrestler, Goldberg, at Super Showdown.
What I did a lot for everybody, didn't it?
Great.
Oh, yeah.
Did great. Made the next big star in Goldberg there.
Yeah.
With losing the title, he needed something to do at WrestleMania, which would lead to the great cinema match that is the Firefly Funhouse with John Cena at WrestleMania that year, which was also the COVID WrestleMania. So no fans, got to do something different. And of course, Bray Wyatt always thinking outside of the box. Bray would kind of go in and out of the Fiend. He would feud with Braun Strowman for the Universal title until the end of the year, when he would rekindle his feud with Randy Orton, leading to the Firefly Inferno match, where Bray would be burned alive, essentially murdered on television.
Whack.
Yeah. He would disappear from TV until WrestleMania, where he would have the blow-off match with Randy, which oddly enough he would lose, which would then but at the time Bray was going through a lot of issues through burnout, plus with the loss of Brody Lee, Luke Harper, and it would eventually lead to his release that July. And then he would take some time off, regrow, rekindle himself, and then at Extreme Rules 2022 would make his triumphant return back to WWE.
Epic.
Unfortunately, Bray would only have one televised match in that time, which would be at the Royal Rumble of 2023 against LA Knight.
Yeah.
Cut some great promos though on TV. The SmackDown after his debut, I recommend finding that on YouTube. It is a great promo that he cuts talking about his love and passion for the fans. Unfortunately, after the Royal Rumble, he would get sick, which would lead to the discovery of a heart condition that Bray would have, which would unfortunately lead to his passing in August of 2023. And on that note, because of that, we are wanting to, remember the legacy of Bray. And so we decided to cover one of his better matches. And James, what match would that be?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It is Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan from the Royal Rumble 2014. It took place January 26th of 2014 at the Console Energy Center, otherwise known as the PPG Paints Arena. Let's go, Pens! Shout out to my Yinzer friends. Fuck the Flyers or whatever, Brad. I don't really watch hockey, so I couldn't tell you.
I'm so offended.
You should. But yeah.
Nice arena.
Pens. That's the house that Sidney Crosby built, they say. But I think Mario Lemieux, there's a sweet statue outside of Mario Lemieux. And cool arena. I even saw a Payback there. 2023. And yeah, I like that arena. I got nothing bad to say. There's a lot of people.
You know what's really unusual about it? There's actually people in this one. Usually we get empty, like just a guy working, walking up by himself with some cans of paint or something like that. This one, looks like they're getting ready to go to a show.
And it's on a hill like that. The slope of that hill doesn't look like much in that picture, but that is on a fucking hill. Like Pittsburgh is real hilly.
Yeah.
Surprisingly hilly.
You can't turn around in Pittsburgh either. You go over the bridge, you go over a bridge for a while, and you gotta basically go halfway through the state to come back.
Right.
I figured it'd be hilly in Philly.
Hey, now, actually, nah. But yeah, good
Yeah,
one.
what do they have, like 27 bridges in Pittsburgh or something like that? I know I probably got that wrong, but definitely be corrected when Bober hears this. But
and at least 3 rivers.
Yeah, they have a shitload of bridges there. Yeah, I like PPG Arena. Saw a sweet ass hockey game there. Shout out Bober and Megan.
Bober.
Saw a pay-per-view there. Shout out Bober, my first WWE one.
We talk about the amount of windows and glass on the front of this building here.
It's an aggressive amount of windows.
Like, I feel like that's way too much.
Aggressive amount of windows.
It is a lot of glass.
The sun beating in that, how hot do you think that has to be? Seriously.
I have windows like that in my office, and it's hot. I have to
I wonder how much the guy gets to get paid when he cleans them from the outside.
Just one guy, right? One window at a time.
Swinging on a fucking rope, or do you think
got a bucket hanging from his hip?
Mike, we see you, buddy.
Oh no.
All right. Back to you, James.
I feel like I should go get my belt now.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Just so I can join in the fun.
Let's go Pins, straight up. Obviously, that is PPG Arena, Paints Arena. But at this time, it was Console Energy Arena, as you can see on the building. In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Shout out to the Yinzers. Love it there. Had an attendance of 15,715. Had a buy rate of 517,000. Mind you, this is like right before the network kicked off, I believe. And had a match length of 21 minutes and 29 seconds. And Meltzer gave this one 4 stars. Not bad. But enough about that. Devin, how did we get here?
All right. So for weeks, Daniel Bryan was getting jumped by Bray Wyatt and the entire Wyatt family. Then on the episode of Raw, December 30th of 2013, Bray Wyatt was beating down Daniel Bryan so bad that Daniel Bryan finally said, "You're right. I'm yours, Bray. Let me join the family." It was insane. Bray for weeks had been trying to get Daniel Bryan to join the Wyatt family, and he finally caved in and joined it. Instantly, the fans started chanting, "No, no, no," because Daniel Bryan was over as Rover at the time with the yes chant. Bryan then sacrificed himself to Bray Wyatt and Sister Abigail, as Bray Wyatt did the finishing maneuver to Daniel Bryan. A couple weeks later, on January 13th, Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan would face the Usos in a steel cage match. Both Usos would end up escaping over the top of the cage and climbing out. As the Usos were kind of getting beat down a little bit by Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, they would reverse it and kick their ass and escape. Well, that would leave just Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt in the cage. When Bray Wyatt wanted Daniel Bryan to give himself up to him again, sacrifice himself to Sister Abigail, this time Bryan wasn't having it. He dropped to his knees as if he was going to sacrifice himself, but instead reversed the Sister Abigail to a ginormous pop and just beat Bray Wyatt's ass. He did the running knee to the face, Bray Wyatt. He did the yes chants, kicked him all over. And this match was set. The next week, Raw General Manager Brad Maddox made it official at the Royal Rumble. It would be Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt.
Thank you for that, Devin. And, we did cover this a little bit for our 2-year show, but it's always, I remember being there for when he was part of the Wyatt family, and I felt so ripped off that Daniel Bryan was part of the Wyatt family at the time, because the Yes Movement was in full effect, and then there was like 3-4 week period where he was part of the Wyatt family. And I was there for it, and everybody's booing him. But also, Brian, great job with the bio. And if you guys want a little more on that, for those of you at home, there's a great one on Peacock about him. Just saying. So anyway, Daniel Bryan entrance, crazy reaction, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, they're all Yes Movement right here.
I have his shirt on, by the way. I mean, not right now. I have that shirt, though. I've worn it on this show several times. 210 pounds my ass, though. I'm just going to say that. But talk about starting off hot. I mean, this Pittsburgh, they always say Pittsburgh's, you never know what kind of crowd you're going to get, but they're hot for this one. Shout out Bober, right?
Yeah, I think he was there, I believe.
I was there. Wyatt family entrance. Devin, tell me, what did you think of this Wyatt family entrance?
This Wyatt family entrance, they were just mystique. They were like oministic, spooky. Like, honestly, I think it was the most unique entrance since the Undertaker's.
Mm. Yeah, it's really something else. So then they cut to the betrayal of the Bryan in the cage. They actually show the segment during the Wyatt entrance. Did you find that odd, James?
I did. I mean, it's cool for us at home, but I figured you would already like kind of go through that, maybe even before the entrances, you know?
Yeah, they definitely don't do that now. That's for sure. But who are the announcers?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It is JBL, which is John Bradshaw Layfield, Jerry the King Lawler, and Michael Cole. Still doing it, man.
Still doing it. For sure. White pants on Bray Wyatt, by the way, always throws me, but that's his look. Adam, is this a dream match for a referee? And by the way, who is the referee?
That is referee John Cone, which I think he does like the office work now, talent relations and whatnot. I think he's more interior now, but he was good back in the day. And yes, definitely a dream match because you just sit back and watch these guys do their thing.
Do you ever get caught just watching?
I have before. It happened not too long ago. It was a tag match, and I just sat back and watched two guys put the baby face in the corner, and I let him get 4, 5, 6 punches in. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta count him and get him out of here. So I got sidetracked. And by the way, Maxine Dupree's real name is Sydney, so that's my fault.
Shout out Sydney. So Daniel Bryan, yes. They are slugging it out early. Shoulder tackle to Bryan. Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt. Man, two guys gone too soon for sure, man. Bryan attacks the leg, knees to Wyatt. Distraction by the Wyatt family. Bray is now in complete control. Bryan flies out of the ring into Harper. And then, I mean, Mike, as a smaller guy against the Eater of Worlds here. So you have the underdog against Bray Wyatt. Who are you rooting for?
Man, well, at this time, you got to be rooting for Daniel Bryan. The crowd was hot for Daniel Bryan at this time. So, and later on in this night at the Royal Rumble, they were hot for Daniel Bryan. So much so they booed Rey Mysterio. Yeah,
right. And the thing is Bray Wyatt, even though he was a heel, was cheered for. But everybody was on full on for Bryan at the time.
Which, I mean, and that don't come on all the time. Like, you don't have somebody that hot that they're rooting for that much throughout the whole show.
I think he's underrated, the pops he got, but again, this is the Bray Wyatt show, not the Daniel Bryan show. So the Wyatt family tossed from the arena now. Bray tells them he's got this. I don't know you're dealing with. I'm the Eater of Worlds. I'm Bray Wyatt. I got this, guys. What a close-knit family, Devin. Now, do you have powwows like this with your 15 brothers and sisters?
No. Most of the time, me and my brothers don't end up getting in fights with the local guy. Like the other guy, the guy that didn't want to join our family. I don't know.
The one that joined and then turned his back on you 3 weeks later?
Right?
Yeah.
I know I write this, but I feel like I read it for the first time sometimes. Bryan high flying into Wyatt, cross body by Bryan, kick out. Kicks by Bryan now. James, as much as crowd is reacting, would it have been crazier in France?
Well, I kind of I mean, this crowd, does it ever get remembered for anything? I really don't know. This specific show, I wonder, does the crowd get remembered? Oh, that's right. Yeah, but yeah, shout out to France, obviously. But this crowd, like Mike was saying, man, they are hot, like way hot when they come out. And this is a good way to start. First match, good way to go.
Agreed.
Chop by Wyatt, Bryan out of the ring now. The ref counting Adam, and he made it to 3. And the ref, I'm going to mention it a few times, he actually is counting in this match. What do you think of that, man?
But here's the thing now, he's so relaxed in his counts. There's once or twice he'll go like they're out on the floor. If one of them's out on the floor and he's counting and the second one goes out there, you don't start your count over. He's
But
done
how
that a
hard is
few
it?
times.
How hard is the count on to do this and keep face? Because you know
Well,
you
I
can't
mean,
turn them out right now. This
there's
is
a different way to
pay-per-view.
do it. I mean, all you got, like, they did a couple of, big moves out there. If you feel like you need to start your count over, but not at 2, but anyway, if you feel like you just have to start your count over, go out there, check on them, roll back into the ring real quick, then start your count over. Don't just stop it just because somebody steps out to the floor.
I'm with you.
I
I
was
thought
gonna
that's
be
how the
offended.
clock gets reset. Like, isn't that by like why one person will slide back in and then slide back out? Because when
Yeah,
a
but you
new
can
person
reset it
comes back
then.
outside, it resets.
But he's not consistent with it. He only does it once or twice. So that's the thing. There, when Daniel Bryan's out there, he's 1, 2, 3, and then Bray Wyatt decides to roll out there to go after him. You normally don't start the count over.
Brian throws what?
Just like when one rolls in and stays
that guy
in.
right there.
Just like when one guy rolls in and the other one stays out, you don't start the count over. You keep going.
Okay.
Brian throws Wyatt full head of steam into the steps, and I know it didn't hurt because that's what I've been told. Wyatt beats the count. So Brian's on the attack now, and Brian has a strategy, Mike. He's working on that leg. What do you think of that?
I mean, you got to work on something. So, I mean, a lot of times, if whatever their finisher is, which Bray Wyatt's the sister Abigail, but you got to work on one body part to make it work, and keep working on that one body part, and it's going to get weak.
Agreed. Single leg takedown by Brian. Leg submission by Brian. Stomp to the back of the head. Bray kick out quick at 1, though, and not even 1. It was like the quickest kick out I've ever seen. Bray's pissed now, getting very aggressive. Daniel Bryan continuing with the kicks. Both trying to suplex, but no go. Wyatt throws Bryant arm hand on the apron. Like, arm hard on the apron, I mean. Like, it was a strange move. Like, it really looked good. What's wrong, Mike?
I got a question.
Yeah, you got my attention, brother.
The kicks to the head. I think that's like a bad thing to do. I mean, for him to hold our arms and kick him in the head several times.
Well, getting kicked in the head, I mean, it could hurt. Yeah, and it could cause damage to your head. Yes. But I don't know if he's really getting him in the head, like how hard he's really kicking him in the head. I think it's the camera angles, and
it is, but I mean, it's
not
not
a thing now. It was already well known.
I mean, at one time they banned Seth Rollins' curb stomp.
I know, but then they brought it back. So I don't like what happened where it was okay again. Wasn't that just a work?
I'm saying I don't know. I'm just saying
I think that was a work.
You're kicking somebody in the head like that. You're holding their arms and kick them in the head. I mean, that's
they banned the curb stomp because of the concussion lawsuit that was going on with WWE at the time. So they were trying to take away most of the head impact moves, a la the curb stomp.
Gotcha.
So, but would that not be something that you would consider something like that?
If he's really kicking him in the head, I guess that's where we're asking.
All it takes is a little slip.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's anything we're doing here, isn't it?
I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. And back on the big couch thing again, huh, Adam? So the refs counting. Devin, did you think Bryan was going to enter the Rumble later that night?
I honestly did. Yep. Along with Mike, I was quite upset when number 30 ended up being Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. So one right back at you.
Not just me, the 70,000 people that were in the crowd.
I know.
By the way,
was the fans doing the roll call for Michael Cole, JBL, and King a distraction to you?
Absolutely. I just thought it's kind of disrespectful. I know that it's the first match, and like sometimes some cities like to do that or whatever, but these are two of the youngest hot stars at the time. Like, this is Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan laying it all down the line. Why are you chanting for JBL?
Especially during the first match.
Bray Wyatt throws suplex to Bryan. It was like a combination to me. James, how is JBL as a heel commentator?
I kind of dig it. I think he does a pretty decent job, especially with this 3-man booth. Usually Lawler is the heel, but I think he's kind of like a comic relief. Hey, Brian, can you go back to that kick in the head picture? The previous one before this? Is that Matt M in the crowd?
Front row, purple shirt guy.
I think Jerry Lawler just got too
No,
popular.
but right,
Is
if
it-
you look right in between the ropes, that right there, that could be Matt M.
And there's yellow shirt guy to the left.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I'm just saying, I mean, these guys. I want their fucking job. That's what I want.
Daniel Bryan launched out of the over the top rope. Ref is counting again. Shout out. Jerry Lawler chants. Wyatt using the post to his advantage. Adam Bryan Daniel Bryan looks legit hurt on the outside. The announcers seem absolutely concerned, but not the ref. Is this a miss?
The ref checked on him. If you watch, he leans down under the rope and kind of goes to him. And there's a signal that they can tell. I'm not going to give you what that is, but there's a way you can communicate without really saying much, and to make sure that he's okay. So the ref was right there. He's one of the better ones.
Okay.
And I see what you're talking about earlier. I'm kind of watching it as you're talking about it again, and I see the crowd like hollering towards the commentary table during the match.
Mhm.
So that's distracting as shit.
Right. Bray his back first into Bryan on the outside looked really legit. Now Bray Wyatt is in control. Mike, do you think Bray Wyatt would accept Daniel Bryan back into the family if he apologized after this match?
Yeah, especially after they finish the match. Yeah, like bring him back. This is your way. Come back into the family.
I
Your ass,
totally think that. Yeah.
come back.
I agree. I think that's Bryan's. I think that is Bray's character to a T. You know, beat the crap out of you, bring you back.
Yep.
As long as you kneel to me and take my sister Abigail. You're an Augie to Bryan. Now Bray is just torturing Daniel Bryan at this point. Wyatt walking upside down crab like. It's so freaking weird, isn't it, Devin?
Yeah, definitely something I wouldn't want to see crawling towards me.
God, what an agile guy for sure.
So there's one thing I don't have you talked about where he hits him from the bottom rope to the middle rope?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so I think here we go.
Yeah,
As the picture shows, this could actually be dangerous if like he's turned wrong, because those ropes are pretty damn stiff. And if it's somebody else, they could have got hurt right here.
Yeah.
So this is one of the moves that could have went wrong if it had been somebody not as, not as
But it's
professional, not
not
as
something
good.
that Daniel Bryan always does. Like he takes the risk all
Yeah.
the time.
And that's on his neck. I mean,
Because those ropes
You
are
know what
stiff. They're
happens.
hard as shit, man.
Yeah.
so all right. So back to the neck now. Match has really slowed down. Are they losing the crowd, James?
I think it's one of those, and Adam has mentioned this a bunch. Like you get them going, then like slow it down a little bit, and then that way, when you crescendo again, like they're right back into it. I think this is a, slow it down. Let's tell a little bit more story, do a little bit more methodical pace, and that way, when you get it right back up, then they're live again.
Yeah. Body slam by Bray Wyatt, misses the big elbow. Bryan's hulking up now, back to the kicks. Drop toe hold to Bray in the corner. Daniel Bryan's legs wrapped around Bray Wyatt off the top turnbuckle. What is this move? Does anybody remember?
Isn't it Hurricane Rana?
Kicks.
No, off the top turnbuckle, legs wrapped around him. Is that what it's called? A Hurricane Rana?
Isn't that what he does?
Oh yeah, when he
Hurricane Rana or Frankensteiner?
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
Devin.
the
You actually
Frankensteiner.
asked
That was
about that.
Scott Steiner. He did the Frankensteiner.
What did you think of it?
I mean,
I
Sorry,
thought that
Frank-
move was hilarious. Right after he hit the Frankensteiner, Bray was slightly off with his timing, so he honestly jumped by himself and did a front flip onto the ground.
That is one thing I like. If you do this move and it's smooth, it looks cool. But like Devin's mentioning, like if like the one guy goes and the other guy just like front flips, barrels over, yeah, it has to be really timed really well.
Yeah,
That's
Naomi
exactly
and
what
Nia
happened
Jax
too.
did a badass one, and it's SmackDown.
that is. I like that match, even though I don't like that Naomi's losing all the time. I like that match. I know she was in a championship match, but I feel like she's always going to be on the receiving end of a lot of these. But that was a good match. All right, so Daniel Bryan flip off the top into his classic Daniel Bryan move set. Okay, so we remember this, right? Hitting the ropes, but but it gets broken up by Wyatt with a shoulder tackle.
Nah, it's like a back elbow.
Yeah. Okay. Bryan with a flying. I'm okay being corrected by
No,
an in-ring
one
performer.
just looks so much more devastating than the other.
Well, I feel like I haven't said that for a while. As an in-ring performer, man, I'm missing that. Bryan with a flying tornado DDT was perfect, right, Adam?
That was pretty.
Yeah, I loved every minute of that. Daniel Bryan full speed double kick to Bray, missile drop kick off the top to Bray Wyatt, and back to the kicks again. Kick out at 2 by Bray. Huge clothesline to Daniel Bryan from Bray Wyatt. Great move, great sell, right, Mike?
Yeah.
I mean, are they even different styles to you? Do they feel like, even though the one's really big and one isn't, do they feel like they have similar styles to you?
Yeah, well, they do, but they don't. I mean, because Bray Wyatt can hang out with, Daniel Bryan. So, but I mean, I think they can both make it work at the same time.
I agree. Bryan reversed Sister Abigail into a roll-up, kick out. Bryan with the yes lock. Bray is biting. Devin, come on. That's against the rules, right?
I imagine, right, Adam? That's illegal.
That's definitely against the rules.
So Devin, just a sneak-minded person. Devin gives me some questions to ask him, and I actually have on my paperwork to ask Devin that. So that's funny to me. and also about the entrance, Devin. So go figure. Headbutt to Bray off the top. Bryan splash off the top rope. Daniel Bryan going for the running knee. Bray out of the ring, though. Bryan dives out of the ring into Sister Abigail, into the barricade. Crowd's back in this now, right, James?
You know it. Once Bray went under the ropes and out of the ring, the boos were raining heavy. And then, Daniel jumped and Bray caught him. Bang, right to the barricade, like on the picture. Oh, yeah. Now we're back in business, baby.
It's a beautiful move. I mean, listen, I know that we're honoring Bray, but he's the heel. So, but at the same time, it was just a great sequence for sure. So Sister Abigail, they're back in the ring now. Sister Abigail in the ring into the 1, 2, 3 pin by Wyatt. Clean, freaking clean. Was that the good finish, Adam? Clean.
It was good finish. I feel like he kind of got out of you said headbutt splash, whatever it was. I feel like he recovered too fast from that. Because usually the splash is used to finish somebody. So other than that, damn good finish.
Crowd is quiet now, but this is a big push here for Bray Wyatt. This is a big win because Daniel Bryan is freaking hot can be with this crowd, and Bray Wyatt gets the win on a big stage. So,
do you think they tried to tone down the hotness of this yes movement by losing right here?
Boy, I feel like they're doing that just the way they're doing it with the yeah movement now.
Yeah, I think they were trying. They were trying to bring him down some.
And honestly, it was perfectly set up for him to win the Rumble after losing this match,
Because this happened before.
Yeah.
Becky's lost and won the Rumble. Seth Rollins has lost at WrestleMania, then cashed in the Money in the Bank contract. Damian Priest lost in night 1 of WrestleMania this year in tag match, cashes in night 2. It happens a lot.
Shoot, I figured you tease them a little bit, like make them think they're about to get it, then it makes them want it more.
Yeah, the crowd turns on the whole fucking Rumble match.
Yeah, I know. There's that fine line to where, if you do it too much, you can get a turn on you.
You boo the ultimate babyface, Rey Mysterio.
Back-to-back years, that Rumble gets booed out of the building.
Can I take the other side of this argument, though?
Shout out.
So for Bray Wyatt here, you're trying to build his momentum. So you take a Daniel Bryan who is hotter than hell right now, and you beat him, and you have Bray beat him because Bray from here would then attack John Cena, leading to the John Cena match at WrestleMania. So you need to make Bray a bigger star. So you have him try to stop and slow down the momentum of Daniel Bryan, trying to elevate Bray up, saying, I beat Bryan, a former WWE champion at this point, to elevate him up to get to John Cena.
I agree.
And beat him clean, too.
You beat him
clean, yes.
Well, Bray Wyatt was a rising star, and you need to make more than one.
True.
You guys ready for listener questions?
My favorite part of the show.
All right. Well, we're going to start with your favorite part of the show, the Yinzer himself.
There you go.
Mike Bober, friend of the show. Do you think the WWE blew it when they had Bray hit the Cena ceiling at WrestleMania. That's WrestleMania 30. The Wyatt family was on fire at the time, and a win over Cena could have propelled them to new heights.
Agreed.
Yep.
Yeah.
100% agree.
If you watch the documentary, Bray Wyatt was thrilled with this match. He was thrilled to be in this position and felt that this was a huge rub for him at WrestleMania. So I don't know if you spoiled it or not, because you're going up against one of the biggest stars in wrestling history, right? What would you have done instead? I guess I would like to even ask Bober that. What would you have done differently? Who would you have had him go up against? I remember this is 14. I know you were kind of getting back into it, James. I was watching. Devin, you were watching. Adam, you're probably in and out, right?
Yeah, I was in and out, yeah.
Mike, you watched like 1998 and now.
I think you haven't beat Cena. I mean, why not? Cena's lost. I mean,
Well, I mean,
He has
he
no
just
problem
lost-
doing
now, yeah.
he just lost a title match, so I mean, it's not going to hurt nothing for him. But I mean, for him to come out and see someone that is a big guy, he's at the time he's over Daniel Bryan. Little than we know what's going to happen next at WrestleMania.
By all accounts,
Well,
because
yeah.
Daniel Bryan wins at WrestleMania, shouldn't Bray have been the first challenger?
You would think.
Why
That's
not?
what I
He
was
beat
kind
him.
of thinking. He can defeat John Cena, and then beating him right here at the Rumble automatically kind of earns him the next shot at the champion, I'd think. But
and you want to talk about making a star? Beat Cena at Mania.
I mean,
Well, I mean, except for Austin Theory, but yeah, that's a different story.
I don't know. It's a good point, Mike. Bober. I don't know. I don't know if he was over. I don't know. I think being in that match is good too. Just being in that match is really good.
yeah.
I think the only other big baby face he could have faced at the time, honestly, might have been Ryback.
Batista.
Oh fuck, right back.
Batista was in the
Everyone was
championship.
he was Bautista.
Yeah, Batista was in a championship in a 3-way. Remember that match?
But
Yeah,
having
that was at the
Bray Wyatt
WrestleMania.
beat him would be really
I'm
good.
kidding. I think I'm upsetting Mike. We don't want to do that. I'm glad you had internet. I really am.
Well, I'm glad I can hear you guys and see you guys, and I'm not freezing. And
Yeah, I like your background today. What other compliments can I give you to stop like being sad at me?
being sad at you. I'm not sad at you. You're just an asshole. So
Oh, perfect. That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say. All right. Antonio Santos. Shout out. Thanks for asking
Friend
the
of the
question,
show.
Antonio. Yeah. So he wants us to rank from least favorite to favorite gimmicks of Bray Wyatt or of Windham Rotunda. Let's go with that.
Okay.
So we have the Fiend. We
Mhm.
have Funhouse Bray. The Mr. Rogers character, of course. We have the cult leader, Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. The White Rabbit, which was himself when he reintroduced himself and became real in Philadelphia. And finally, Husky Harris. So worst to best. Do you want to do this as a team? No.
Yeah,
I think he did it best to
all
worst.
Yeah, he pretty much did best to worst. I mean,
You think so? You think Fiend's the best character?
No,
I think the White Rabbit could have been something. So
So let's start with number 5. What's the
Husky
worst?
Harris is the
gimmick that
worst.
he had?
Husky
Husky
Harris.
Harris is,
Husky Harris.
yeah, no
Unanimous,
doubt.
it's
the way.
Husky.
Yeah.
All right, so Husky's number 5.
Then the
Number
White
4.
Rabbit. White Rabbit.
These are not my opinions.
Man,
I'm gonna give you mine. My worst is Husky Harris. After that would be the White Rabbit, then the Fiend, then the Cult Leader, then Funhouse Bray. 'Cause I love Funhouse Bray the best.
well,
Yowie wowie.
okay,
Yeah, I'll go with that too.
Mine would be Husky Harris, Cult Leader, and then we have the
Funhouse Bray, Beat Fiend, and White
Mr.
Rabbit.
Rogers thing, and then the Fiend. Well, no, I'm gonna White Rabbit because we didn't get the full potential of the White Rabbit.
Very true.
So White Rabbit and then the Fiend. I love.
I
the
know
Fiend.
Fiend's your favorite.
I just think, and it's because that was his thing. He created that. He did it, and what he was going to become out of like the White Rabbit type deal. That could have been number 1. There's no telling what would have happened.
But it was just him.
But I'm his creative mind is what gets me. Like it's not his wrestling, like what he does in the ring. It's what's in his head. And that's what makes him one of my favorite wrestlers. It's
Right.
because of what he came up with, what he created.
All right, Devin.
So 5 is Husky Harris for me. I think the White Rabbit, that's gonna be 4 just because it didn't get much potential. It really only got the 1 match against LA Knight. Then next I think would be the Fiend. I like the Fiend, but I didn't like the later half of the Fiend when he was all burned and all that stuff. So that kind of lowers it for me. And then the Mr. Rogers character, because that side of him was so much fun to watch on screen. And then first for me would be the Cult Leader. I love this version of him with Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, and eventually Braun Strowman. I think it fit well.
I think people are in a majority on that.
Yeah, I don't dislike the Cult Leader. I think it was more like a WWE type thing instead of a Bray Wyatt type thing. And my thing with that one is because when he was released, he put out a bunch of videos that he made himself, on his own like social media and everything else about different things. This dude had a creative mind. Like he could have done. He was like Rob Zombie of the WWE.
James?
I think he could have done some good.
I pretty much agree with Devin. I really like the Wyatt family aspect, but I think it had a lot of legs. Obviously it was like a longer gimmick, it felt like. So maybe that's why I like it a little bit more, because it was longer and, was able to tell a shitload of stories with that. Oh, shit. But I don't know, man, because that top 3 is a tough one with the Mr. Rogers and the Fiend, because you really didn't get. You got a little bit of story with it, but it kind of got ridiculous with Randy Orton and Alexa, like the black bleeding out of her eyes and stuff. Kind of got a little away from it, for a little bit. But I do like the Wyatt family. So I'm probably gonna agree with Devin's list, really.
Okay. So then we got Randy Alcoride with 2 questions. Shout out, Randy.
Well, so with the COVID era, do you think like he did a great job with the COVID era, like with doing the match he did with Cena?
Yeah,
and
that was
good.
awesome.
I don't remember much else.
That should be a bonus episode where we watch along that.
I'm saying, I mean, but all that stuff right there came from him.
Yeah.
Even Cena said, like, he had his input and he did this, he did that, but a lot of that stuff was Bray Wyatt, like saying, hey, this is what we need to do, this is what we should do. And then Cena put in his input for it. But
So Randy asked, Bray Wyatt, mid-card until the Fiend persona? That's a question. Or was the Wyatt family more than a mid-card? I think it's just dependent on the time, really.
Yeah, sometimes they were at the top of the heap, and then sometimes they were in
Sometimes
the
they were
middle.
lower mid-card.
mhm.
Everybody agree with that? I think that's the answer. I really do.
Depending on the feud, yeah.
I mean, I think you could plug him in anywhere too, and he was one of those too. He was always somebody that could give you a good match and give you a story.
Like his Uncle Barry.
Definitely. Daniel Bryan, same scenario. Did his popularity rise during the Total Divas era, being seen on more than just wrestling program? I have to say, Randy, no, I do not agree with that at all. I think it was when he started teaming with Kane that really put him on this next level with the yes team hell no.
Team Hell No.
I think that made him. He was a star already, but that really made him a fan favorite. That's
I think Total Divas made him a star in my dad's mind because he watched it.
I get it, but I don't think that's it, really.
But he wasn't watching it for Daniel Bryan. I'll put it.
I wouldn't either. What do you think, Devin?
I think it was already over when he was an indie darling.
Yeah.
And then he came to the WWE and was over kinda because he got famous for the Justin Roberts scene when he choked him out and instantly got fired and brought back.
Yep.
So that kind of kept growing, and then I honestly kind of think it was the moment when he lost to Sheamus in like 20 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever it was, kissed AJ Lee and turned around and got booted because like instantly they broke up, and then he started that kind of relationship with Kane and that was the whole turning point. So I think it was kind of a combination of both those two.
Right.
What do you think about his heel run when he brought in like the hemp belt and stuff like that?
He made Kofi.
That's exactly what it was.
He was heel. He made Kofi. He was unlikable. Daniel Bryan was unlikable.
He threw the belt in the trash. Heel move.
But that right there gives you credit to you. I know this is our Bray Wyatt episode, but
I know Daniel Bryan's hard to not talk about.
And how much of a worker and everything else that Daniel Bryan is, because he switched, in his snap,
Fickle.
just being himself.
Yeah.
Like that's who he is. He is that, save the environment, eat vegan food, do this, do that, and that's what he is.
And now he's the good guy and a bad guy in the same week.
Right.
Exactly.
On the same episode.
I mean, it's unbelievable. How about you, Adam?
I didn't do the divas too much, but I think the indie stuff
Surprising.
in NXT before the divas
The
happened.
Nexus, yeah.
Yeah, I believe he was already getting up there.
All right, cool. All right, Ben Jones, our favorite Aussie. Would a beard versus beard match between Bray and Daniel have worked? Why not?
If you book it with enough heat.
Oi. That right?
I think yes. And I think Daniel will be the one shaving.
I think hair versus hair would work better, and leave the beard. Let's go bald.
Do it.
I'm in.
Sexy.
Fucking Brett.
I'm in. Adam Jefferson, by the way, I'll tell you what. He sees he asked a pretty good question here. And I said, we probably need to get him on the show because he would really be something for an episode. I remember Bray initially getting buried by the IWC when he began to build toward the debut of The Fiend. Is there something in wrestling that many seem to hate, but you let it play out all for you to be able to say, told you so?
There's something to that.
Isn't that what it's all about? I mean, we go for a character or we go for somebody and they don't do something with them, and then later on they push them.
Yeah.
Honorary Oos was stupid as fuck, and then it turned into the hottest thing going.
I have a shirt. I have the shirt.
Feeling very oozy.
I'm just saying.
I agree. Like what gets over gets over. It's sometimes there's no explanation for it, but you gotta let things build sometimes. You gotta let everything seems stupid at first, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely think letting things grow helps it, because if all honesty, I think CM Punk would have been somehow involved with the Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre match more heavily than that. But right now, we've been seeing this grow with with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, and eventually, when those two touch, well, more like touched inside a ring, it's going to be absolutely insane. So
And shout out to Drew about it too. Shout out to Drew.
So,
He's made this happen.
Even like with that storyline, what do you think about, them bringing more like real stuff into it? Like, Drew McIntyre is always mentioning the stuff that CM Punk did, especially like with AEW. He's not like saying, "Oh, you do this with AEW," but he's mentioning you let down the fans, you do this, you do that. He's bringing real life into it.
Yeah, it's way to do it.
WWE they're doing more of that now. Like they're bringing up, certain things that they wouldn't did before, and it's great storyline.
It is.
I mean, it really is. And then, CM Punk, I mean, he's part of it and he's down. He has to be okay with it for them to do it.
Maybe. Unless they're going into business for themselves, but I doubt. That seems like an AEW thing. Ask CM Punk.
I don't see that with CM Punk anymore.
Drew McIntyre, CM Punk go out there, they're doing the promos and they're going in the back and hanging out afterwards. I mean, we know that. But it's one of those things where they're bringing it out there and making it seem so real by bringing up the past, by bringing up, not saying AEW, but bringing up AEW.
Yeah.
They didn't do that before.
No, it's a different era for sure. Hunter at the helm. Hunter at the helm. Huh.
And that's what it is.
Last question here from Matt M.
Shout out.
Here we go.
A heavy Matt M episode.
And this will not get an answer. Just to
Oh,
let you know.
Oh, great.
Do you think WWE could revive the Atom Bomb gimmick with a female talent and call her Madam Bomb?
But who could do it?
What the fuck?
Nia Jax should be perfect for it.
Nia Jax, Madam Bomb.
Piper Niven.
Oh, Piper.
Anyway, that's it for the questions. Thanks everybody for making our show even more fun.
And you
Not
can
really.
submit those questions on our social media.
Or at Yes Man Brad. Because
Whatever. You
he's
can
the
text
only
me.
one who gives a fuck.
Text me. Here's my number is 26. That was a joke.
About to say I wouldn't do
No.
that.
30 people would be calling me.
33.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to you, James.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, appreciate the questions as always. And like I said, submit them on our social media when you see the post about what we're going to discuss. And you can have your question on your show. But moving along, it looks like, boy, Brad, you really outdo yourself sometimes. Devin's dangerous dudes waiting at the door. So, Devin,
Fuck.
you hear him knocking, don't let him in.
Yeah.
All right. So actually, I read this in the outline and I said, Devin's dynamic dude's waiting at the door. What can I do with this? So there's a few dudes / dudettes out there that are currently waiting at the wrestling door, and we're not sure what's going to happen with them. So I'm just going to ask you. I have four superstars, 4 wrestlers that are going to be in a company or presumably going to fall to a company at some point, and I just want to see how you guys would let them in the door. So first off, Jacob Fatu in the WWE. How do you debut him?
In France a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Let's see, Mania, we got Rumble, we got
If they don't debut him in Saudi, I mean, they have to. They have to. That's how you debut it. Well, I don't know. Do they know who he is there?
Brad's gonna have some fucking blood vessels bust if they don't debut this dude soon.
I would love him to debut helping out the Usos, and then become a face part of this. But if Jimmy's out, then it doesn't work. So I don't know. I would have debuted him initially as a heel in France, but if not, I guess I'm gonna have to wait 6 weeks for Jimmy. And I cannot believe I'm saying that out loud. I don't even know if it's 6 weeks. I'm making that shit up. How long is Jimmy out? I have no idea. Why am I saying 6
injured?
weeks? That's what I don't even know what he's injured for. I don't even know what it is. Let's Google this.
All right,
Anybody
who's
else?
next?
I'm going with Brad. Just fuck it. I'm going with Brad.
Wow.
Jimmy has an ACL injury, by the way.
Oh,
shit. It ain't 6 weeks.
It could be a fucking
That's
year
6 to
until I
9
debut
months.
his ass.
I mean, is Roman going to come back sooner than maybe
Uh-oh.
SummerSlam or no?
He might have to now.
Roman isn't slotted until Survivor Series, if not the Royal Rumble.
Okay. Then when are you bringing him?
November.
There's no way he signed and he's waiting this long. Why pay him? Why not just wait? He was an independent wrestler.
No, I think he'll show up SummerSlam.
Oh my
So we
gosh.
can
that's
start the build
August.
to a Survivor Series.
That would work.
Because you only got
SummerSlam.
one chance
Second
to
half of the year.
debut him. You can't do it too early. You got to do it
Too
right.
early. We've known
gotta
about this
do it
since
right.
November.
You got to do it right.
Then he's gonna be part of the heels then. He's gonna be part of the heel faction.
That would
I
give
don't know, with
Solo
Jay,
another like
when-
3 months to build up.
Oh my
Being
god.
leader.
With Jimmy being out now, am I set up for Survivor Series?
Brad rubbing the shit out of them eyes.
I just don't know how you can do it without putting him with them and Roman not coming back and not having Jimmy. I don't unless he's just
Roman's coming back.
But the thing is, Jay's on freaking Raw.
Roman's coming
Well,
back.
how are you feuding on 2 different shows?
Free
War
agent.
Games.
Huh?
War Games.
What is a Survivor Series? I mean, I think they'll all be there by then. I really do.
That'll be a year, won't it? Because he signed in November, and if they wait till
I don't know if
November,
he signed in November. I think I made that up too. I think he signed in like March,
January,
right?
Didn't he sign like right before the Rumble?
Right before WrestleMania, right?
Yeah, it was this year. Yeah.
I don't even know the official signing date. I mean, all right. You know what, Devin? You knew what you were doing with this question. And I just don't know I don't know what they're gonna do. I think their plans have changed.
All right. So number 2, the dynamic dudette waiting at the door. How would you debut Camille Brickhouse in AEW? We know she's signed.
I don't
It doesn't matter how they do it because they're not going to do it right. Because look what they did to what's her name that just come from
CEO.
That's what they just did to Deonna Purrazzo. They put her in one angle. Now where's she been?
How tall is Camille?
I believe like 6'2",
About 5'10", 5'11", probably.
So
probably
this is what I would do with her. I would make her like a like just have her come in and start squashing. And just build her like a Ryback, like at the time when Ryback was Feed Me More, like something like that. That's what I would do for now.
Wardlow when Wardlow was good.
Yeah, just do something like that and just keep building her as this monster and then put her in, finally after she gets over for a while. 'Cause people love that. I think that would
she
work.
can't squash people because that's what Nia Jax does. She squashes. So we
Adam's
have to
right.
use
Google
a
says
different
5'11".
term.
Nia's not on her show.
But Nia does the squashing though, so we can't use that term. We got to come up with a different term. So she's got a
Winning fast? What?
yeah a beat down or so. I don't know. We can't say squash because I think Nia Jax has that, for her stuff.
Okay.
Can't have a cease and desist.
That's what I would do.
That's fair.
I think Devin's waiting for someone else to answer.
Have her beat up a bunch of people and then later go for some title.
Yeah. How about a heater?
Yeah.
It's always a good way to debut somebody.
In the NWA, she was the bodyguard for Nick Aldis, or like his muscle. So honestly, I could see her doing that.
For Jericho, the learning tree.
She's like not China, obviously, but she's a very, very impressive woman, like a Jade Cargill-ish. Like you could do it that way.
Wait a minute. What James said. Go back.
The learning tree.
I could see her coming out as Jericho's muscle.
Okay.
Her beside Big Bill would be freaking because she's 6 foot, he's 6'5" or whatever.
He's 7 foot.
Hey, we were talking about CM Punk earlier.
He's 6'5".
That would be something cool to look at. Is Camille and Big Bill side by side? They're both bigger than Jericho. That's not a bad idea, James.
Am I muted?
Yeah, you're muted. I mean, no, we can't hear you.
Okay.
Damn it.
So this ain't pay-per-view. This is the last time CM Punk was on WWE until he returned. This was his last pay-per-view.
Shout out.
I'm just saying.
And what does that have to do with Camille?
Nothing, I'm just saying.
All right, so number 3. We just seen last week on AEW, he was fired. What is next for Christopher Daniels?
Behind the scenes working.
Exactly, yeah. Back to the
Not
office.
wrestling anymore.
I don't know.
Just probably
Back to the
retired from
office.
wrestling temporarily.
Podcast with Scott D'Amore.
Right?
That's not a bad idea. Oh, that's fun though. Probably right. Probably backstage work, continuing producing and stuff like that. But all right, this is my number 4, and he has not left his current company, but is presumed most of the IWC assumes that he's gonna eventually fall into WWE. How would you guys debut a Ricky Starks in WWE?
So to me, Ricky Starks, he reminds me of The Rock a little bit, right? So I think you have to debut him the way Jericho debuted with The Rock.
Oh,
a
that's
build,
nice.
a slow build to him like this, like that clock or whatever that was, that the Y2K, and build him there, and then it finally, like he finally comes out at a real big moment, and because he could talk,
But
and then
who's
have
big
that
enough
moment.
for him to interrupt? Who would
Who's big enough for him to interrupt?
Cody,
How-
that's his
Rhodes.
buddy.
Who would be the Rock?
Cody.
For him, who would be the Rock?
Cody.
Cody.
Cody's good.
But we
What
already know
about-
they're best
How
friends.
about
though.
even like maybe an LA Knight? I don't know. Like I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
I'm
So
just
do we
saying, like
want- do we
somebody
want
can
him to
talk
be
back
heel?
is what I'm getting at.
We want him
Waller
to
in
start out
theory.
heel or babyface.
Heel.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
I
he
agree.
is-
No, go
he is
ahead. You
come-
can, James. You can have an
he is come
opinion.
as
What
heel.
is it?
Well, Waller in theory, but that would make him a babyface. But he could
That's
interrupt them
okay.
fucking
If-
jack offs all day.
He
How about the Miz?
He could come in as a heel with a chip on his shoulder, not mention AEW, but still be like, screw these other people. They didn't know what to do with me. I'm here to show you what I'm all about.
I think he's hurt right now. Is why he's not on TV.
Yeah,
He's not hurt.
No,
He's not hurt. He
Yeah.
just
I
recently.
thought he missed. I thought they got him off TV for his neck.
I'll give
No,
a quick shout out to the podcast What Culture, because they recently sat down with Ricky Starks and I listened to that, and that's what
Okay.
kind of gave this idea for me to talk about him, because he is not injured. He said he's just waiting for a call.
Mhm.
Oh, that's a shame.
So
And
I
that's what I'm saying.
assume
I mean, he
there's
should come
some-
out there as a heel, but it could be against Cody, and be like, screw that other company. Like, I mean, or even a babyface come out there and screw them other people. They didn't put me on there. I'm here to show you what I'm about.
I don't think Cody, because if he starts at the top of the food chain, where do you go from there?
Well, that's what happened with Jericho.
So,
That was the top of the food
But
chain
The
with
Rock
the Rock.
wasn't the number one
Yeah.
man in the company right then.
He was number
though.
all right,
two.
well, here's the problem with that.
What if he interrupts LA Knight
I
first
said, yeah, yeah.
Right.
I like LA
Here's the
Knight.
problem.
before Cody?
If he came as a babyface, it would have to be against Logan Paul.
I'll tell you what, I like that. I like the idea of interrupting Logan Paul.
I'm
I
saying,
do.
I mean, he would have to go against one of the top
That's not
guys.
bad, Mike.
I'm just saying, I mean, it would have to be against a top guy, a top heel, going after their title.
All right.
I mean, anybody else, all the other baby faces are champions. Logan Paul is the only heel champion.
He could interrupt Gunther.
Tag team. Gunther's not a champion.
He doesn't need to be. Gunther's one of the top guys on Raw
I'm
without the
saying
championship.
he would have to come out and challenge him.
or interrupt Drew.
Right. I'm just saying, like, he would have to come out and have to interrupt a heel. Who's the biggest heel right now?
I mean,
Dominic.
Dominic, Gunther,
Dominic can't do nothing.
Chad
Dominic can't
Gable.
fucking talk in the ring because the crowd boos him enough.
Him, Chad Gable wouldn't be. Or if he's going to do heel, he could come out and interrupt Sami Zayn.
Now,
Yeah.
yes, if he was a heel, he'd come out against Sami Zayn. He'd come out, against
I feel
Cody.
like there's more baby faces than heels in WWE right now.
There's definitely more babyface, and so if he would come there, he would have to be a heel. We
Yeah,
need more
they
heels.
them to have to
And we
be.
need good heels. And like you said before, he is a Rock type person. He's the perfect one to come out there and be that heel and be a fan favorite heel, I guess.
And he's a hell of a
gonna be like
talker, so that
he's not gonna be the Dominic Mysterio where he comes out, he picks up the microphone and they boo him. They're gonna listen to him.
you have something with him and Logan Paul.
yeah, I agree.
I think that should be what it is.
Logan Paul's a damn good talker too.
Bring him out as a babyface against Logan Paul.
All right, I'm in. Let's call him. No, seriously, I like it. I hope you're listening. We know
Yeah,
you do.
Bruce.
Both of you
Oh,
together. I'm picturing you both listening to this in the car.
That's my opinion. I'm just saying. He has to come in as a heel or as a babyface to begin with.
all right, cool. Well, that was a fun discussion. That was Dev's dynamic dudes waiting at the door. Back
Love
to
it.
you, James.
Going.
Shout out Dynamic Dudes. Boy.
Shout out.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave that one where it's at, I guess. But I guess I'm up next with the spirit of moving. And as everybody knows, I definitely just got promoted and accepted a position in California, so I will be relocating and everything. And it's quite a pain in the fucking ass, actually. But there's a lot of paperwork involved and a lot of phone calls, and nothing I love more than talking on the phone. I'll tell you that much. And but it's a big career move, and got to do it for advancement and betterment, and why the fuck not? But because I was being stagnant and not moving, so my spirit of moving would be kind of got to take that chance, and why not? I mean, I don't have any family here anyway. Got some friends. Shout out Brandon. He's we've been hanging out quite a bit lately because in a month or month and a half ish, I guess now. Will I ever see him again? You literally don't know.
Right.
So, but to get where I need to be in my career, I have to take this jaunt and this journey. So, it's worth taking. It's going to be a big career move, and that's such is life. Sometimes because if you feel like you're stuck in life and you feel like you're not going anywhere, then maybe it is time to take a jump. There's a Steve Harvey video where he talks about you have to take a jump. Very good. I recommend everybody watch it. And because here's the thing: if you ain't living, you're dying. And so you got to keep on keeping on and keep progressing forward. Because if you get stuck, you're not going nowhere. So what do you need to do? Move. And it helps progress life. It helps and you never know what opportunities wait on the other side unless you move. So you don't want to be the spirit of standing still. You notice it wasn't called that. It's called spirit of moving. And hey, life's worth living, baby. Go grab it. Go get the brass ring. Climb that ladder, kid. Make yourself famous. Don't be stuck. Don't be stuck. Move. And
Hey, I
that
just want to let you know real quick before you finish that. I know you're about to say it, but I've talked to my wife about this, and I will say this. And I've told you off air. I think it's a brave move. Good for you,
it's
man.
definitely it's a little nerve wracking, and it's kind of cojones, because I moved out here on my own, and being on your own, like if I go out and fuck up, it's me. Like there's no support. I mean, I have my family and you guys, obviously, but like support wise, like locally, like your boy's solo, just chilling. So sometimes you just got to do it. Sometimes you have to do it, man.
You know what, James? And I was thinking about that, but you're the type, you're going to go out and you're going to go out to a restaurant, go hang out at a bar or something like that. You're going to make your friends.
Yeah.
Like you're the type, you're the type, you're going to go out that one time. It's going to take one, maybe two times. You have those people, like you said, you got Brandon right there, with you now.
Yeah.
You're that type of person.
Didn't know you guys until jumping on a fucking computer.
Exactly. You're the type of person that, your next door neighbor, they're going to be your best friend. Especially if they're anything close to like you or any of us or anything like you type, you got that power to draw them in, and because you're a great person.
Oh, thanks.
So, I mean, you got that in you. People see that. I seen it. You're the reason I'm a top guy. So, I mean,
Conrad,
you. Like I said,
he's number two.
You got that. So,
well, and like with the support of you guys and my friends, family, everything, like it allows me to have a little bit of confidence to be like, hey, I got this because I got a good supporting staff. Like, I got this, man. I got people like see it in me, I guess. They're like, yeah, I'm good. I got my people.
Right.
What is holding you back? Nothing.
And if all else fails and worse comes to worse, you got Martin Nelson that lives a couple hours away from you. So
shout out.
Shout out to Martin Nelson.
If for any other reason.
But no, like and here's another thing, because sometimes when you gamble on yourself, you have to succeed. So that's another thing, like, because I was feeling stagnant in life. So it was time to get the spirit of moving.
There it is.
Boom.
Can't wait for like a year and a half when James is a surfer dude.
Right.
Living in Cali.
I'm like that one Bray with like beads and shit in it. Like, bruh. Because that one video, the surfer dude.
Oh, that's going to be you.
Catch some waves, bruh. But you know what else goes good on the California beach? Some food. So, Mike, what you got for us this week on the Meat Minute?
Ooh. Well, honestly, I got something I tried this weekend when I was camping. And let's see, the person I called, like I went with, he called it the over the fire crackhead oysters. Oh, what is that? Right? You only all like oysters, clams, stuff like that.
Crackheads.
I'm not talking about crackheads. I'm about oysters and clams. Crackheads come later. Oysters, clams, mussels.
Oh, yeah.
Right? All right. Well, you can go to the store and buy oysters in the can. You peel them open and they're right there. That's what you need to get. Get you a couple cans of those. Okay. You take those. Then all you need is a little bit of hot sauce, some shredded cheese, and some breadcrumbs. What you want to do is take all that stuff, take the oysters, breadcrumbs, shredded cheese, throw it on in aluminum foil. Make a ball of it. Throw some hot sauce in there. That's it. Make a ball out of it. You're right on there, David. We're camping. So we ain't got an oven. We ain't got a stove. So you throw it in aluminum foil. Make a little ball of it. Throw it in the fire. Go right there beside the fire. Let it get hot. Let it cook for about 10, 15 minutes. That way all that stuff gets hot. The cheese gets melted. You come up and eat away. It's great. You can take crackers. Take your crackers and eat some of it.
Good idea.
Crackers and oysters. Fucking great for it. It's great little camping food. It's great little on the hike. Do what you gotta do. And it's easy, and it don't take nothing to make.
Adam just made some.
Did you? You're gonna make some. I guarantee you're gonna try this one way or another. I guarantee you. If you like oysters, you're gonna try it.
Is that a cream cheese bagel?
There you go. Put on a bagel.
Fucking starving.
That is my Mike's 29-second minute.
That's a shirt if I've ever heard one.
For real, dude. That is an awesome saying. 29-second minute. I live my life by the quarter mile. Type of shit like that. That's awesome. Well, what better way to transition, I guess? Really don't know. But Brad, what do we got here?
All right, so it's not exactly the way that looks there, James. That's one part of it. But so we're gonna go with some Bray Wyatt gimmicks here, and we're gonna kind of see what. All right, so let's face it. Was the Wyatt family sort of a cult at first? Would you call it a cult? I would. So let's talk about 3 cults that are either stagnant or completely gone. What one would you think should have got a better chance, or would you like to see, like, were you disappointed it ended? So the Dark Order of AEW is still going.
I thought you were going to say trash. I didn't
The
know.
I was not sure where we were going with the Manson family.
In wrestling. Okay, in wrestling. I guess I should have prefaced. The Dark Order by AEW had some great things going, the Dark Order, and of course now I barely see them. Okay, so they would be the one that are still sort of around, and then we had Sanity in the WWE. Sanity was had a lot of momentum going and then just completely stalled. And then we had the Seth Rollins family, which was Seth Rollins, the Authors of Pain, and Buddy Murphy. Which do you think was the best one, or should have a better run, is what I'm getting at.
Sanity. I'll jump ahead. I know
Sanity, 100%. Yeah.
I like Sanity a lot. I think they had a lot of.
Yeah, I think they they should have done something.
A lot of tread on them tires, and they just cut that shit dead.
This
EY
man
is
didn't know
such
what
a
to do with
creative
him.
mind. Killian Dane, absolutely insane. And then Alexander Wolf, kind of that oddball character.
And
Eric Young going crazy. You had Nikki.
wasn't there a female in the group?
Yeah, the superhero.
Nick Cross.
Nikki
Nikki
Cross.
Cross.
And
Nick
she made
Cross.
it with
She
that.
I
was
think she's
nuts,
about to make a
dude. She was going
comeback.
crazy.
Ah,
She's
All right, we're all on the
about to
same
make a
page.
comeback, guys.
Why they turned the water off on that, I have no idea. It
Because
was
Vince and Man didn't know what to do with it. Because NXT was amazing. Moved up to SmackDown. They didn't know what to do with him.
And then like a week later, he releases Eric Young.
Yeah.
all right. So I didn't like the Seth Rollins family at all.
yeah, no.
I like Authors of Pain, but I don't. They keep trying to fit him in, but it didn't work for me overall. The Dark Order though is also was a really good concept because you could actually join that online, which I thought was such a neat thing.
Now it's
I think-
adopt the Dark Order.
Huh?
And in 2021, 2020, 2021, they were over.
Yeah.
Over.
And I don't know
Instead
why it ended. I don't know why it stopped.
Instead of join the Dark Order,
I
it's
know,
adopt.
but I thought they turned into baby faces after Brody Lee died.
Kind of turned like comedic relief almost.
Do
Like
you
not
think
baby
if
faces,
That's
but,
what they
like,
That's
still
not
are.
I don't know what.
if that didn't happen, if he didn't die, I think they would still be going on.
Maybe.
You know, as that thing, like they had a thing going. I think
You can
it
adopt
was
him
only
right now.
because it was only because of his passing why they kind of turned it a comedic thing.
Yeah.
And who would have branched out? Like, who would have branched like Silver? We may be looking at him in a different light. If Brody was still around, and then like
I think Evil Uno.
because people
is-
rise up and dip,
Evil Uno.
I
is
think Preston
certainly
need to step up
Preston,
and take
yeah.
control of everything.
True.
When they kind of separate him from the group, I think that was kind of the end of it. Like,
It was the end of him.
yeah.
All right. So let's talk about masks. Now, none of these masked wrestlers are now the Fiend had a mask, right? So none of these masked wrestlers are wrestling anymore. Who would you like to see in like Ric Flair's last match? Like a match like that, a production by by Conrad or something like that. Would you like? Now, one of them is no longer with us, but you just hypothetically speaking. So Vader, Kane, or Mankind, or Mick Foley, as we like to call him, but as Mankind.
Kane versus Mankind.
I
Can I
think
do that?
I think the Mick Foley thing would have been something good. He was something. He was trying to train for it. He was losing weight. He was doing what he had to do. I think that right there would have been great. Mick Foley all the way.
Yeah.
Because he's going to put 100% into it every time.
That's what scares me, Mike.
Exactly. I mean, but I think that right there would have been a great match.
What do you got, Devin? You had something to say there. You look like you're itching.
I just think it's more meaningful if Mick Foley was Mick Foley in a final match, not Mankind.
No, I
if he is
I
either
agree with
Mick
that.
Foley or maybe Cactus Jack. Where I think Kane he's took his career on a complete political side. We know politics and wrestling don't belong at all.
right.
So I would void Kane completely from that. And because Mick Foley to me should be Mick Foley or Cactus Jack, not Mankind, I'm going to go with Vader. The one that I believe his last ever match was against Heath Slater on a Raw. Last WWE appearance. So I think he could have definitely got a better send-off, especially with someone like Conrad knowing the history of Vader with NWA, WCW, and NJPW.
Okay, so Devin, my question is, who would have been his opponent?
It could be anyone. Vader is just the up-and-coming hot talent.
Mick Foley.
JEFF.
Right. I mean, like with Mick Foley, I think you could have had him against Mancher. Anybody, like especially anybody in JCW. And it would have been great.
Big
Or-
Foley Mance Warner would be awesome.
Is that your pick, James?
No, I was agreeing with Mike.
I'm just saying, like Mick Foley and Mance Warner, hell of a fucking match right there. I think that right there would have been a great match. That would have been a great last match. That would have been epic.
I think Vader deserved a better WWF run, WWE, whatever. I would choose him. If Mick Foley had like a last match thing, I think it would be cool to come out as Mick Foley, but at some point in the match, put on the Mankind mask, go crazy, put on the tie-dye shirt, do a little shuck and jive and stuff like that. Like get all those three faces of Foley in that same match. But I think Vader should have had he didn't get a proper run for political whatever bullshit or whatever. But I think Vader, I'd like to see. I wish he got a good send off because he was a dominant motherfucker and one of the biggest heels, like and pretty acrobatic and stuff. So I would like to see Vader get his proper due.
Adam?
I gave my two options.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Kane, Mankind.
I would like to see Kane in the last match, and I would like to see it in Knoxville. I think you could do it there. I think it doesn't matter that he's Kane and the mayor. I really don't, because he's come out as Kane since then. You could have it there in Knoxville and have a last match. I'm not sure who the opponent would be. That'd be something to think about. But I think I think Kane's somewhat healthy still. And I know that we're thinking hypotheticals here, and I'm not supposed to be thinking that way. But I think he's somewhat healthy still, and he could have a really good last match too. So that's my pick. One more, guys, and this is where the title came from, James. Gone too soon. So gone too soon. I'm going to name 3 wrestlers because obviously Bray Wyatt was gone too soon. Windham Rotunda. So 3 other wrestlers that are gone too soon. Who would you like to see and would have liked to see one last match? Eddie Guerrero, Owen Hart, or China?
Eddie, 100%.
Bringing out the big guns on this one, bro.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty big. Eddie?
Eddie Guerrero.
I think, yeah, man, Eddie was at his prime when he left. He was still working. I think Eddie.
Devin?
Eddie got the send-off. Eddie got the world championship at one point in his career. He had the big feud with Batista and Rey Mysterio. He had almost everything he could have gotten in his career, except for everyone wanted the one dream match against Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. So I don't think Eddie's the one. Who were the other options you said?
China, Owen Hart, yeah.
Okay, China's, for me, similar boat. She did the most she could with the men's division. She won the Intercontinental Championship. She was 30th in the Rumble. Other than winning the Rumble, what else could she do? She won the women's title at WrestleMania. So for that case, I'm taking Owen Hart. Yeah. He had the main event match against his brother Brett, but he never won that title. He was always known as the little brother.
But he did. He did win the one.
His career ended as the Blue Blazer. It didn't end as Owen Hart. He didn't have that chance to be the Game Owen Hart. Like we've known that the Game was his moniker before Triple H.
I agree with you. I agree. Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
James?
1A Eddie, 1B Owen. I don't know. It's really hard to decipher against both of those, but of course you want to see Eddie again, but of course, but like, Devin was saying, Owen, they fucked over his brother, and then he got a kind of decent singles, half push, I guess, if you say, because he never really got to go against Shawn. And then the Blue Blazer thing, like, that's not how Owen ends. You know what I mean? Like, that's my thing. Like, when Owen passes, we're not going to remember, the Blue Blazer. We're going to remember, like, Owen. So I think I may be leaning towards Owen. I don't know, but Eddie is so good. That's a tough one, man. That's good choices, Brad.
I think Owen's the answer. Just because Devin, I think you talked me into it because yes, Eddie won the championship at WrestleMania. China did everything female competitors should be able to do in the WWE, and
and then some.
I'm going Owen. I would like to. Owen was going to do it eventually, I think, or could have at some level. There's,
I think if Owen was still around or lasted a lot longer, he could have been on TV world champion.
Yeah. All right. That's it, guys. I thought that was fun. I didn't know how that was going to go, but because it's a little bit sad too. You know what I mean? So back to you.
We are covering Bray Wyatt. So,
yeah. So back to you.
Gone too soon, indeed. Hey, let's speaking of watching stuff, Devin, what are we watching?
All right, so for my Devin's demographic this week, what we are going to be watching, number one, is the spin-off of Jeopardy. It's going to be called Pop Culture Jeopardy. It's going to be on Amazon Prime. You can see it debut later this fall in 2024.
I'm interested.
It's going to focus on music, films, TV, stage performances, sports, and more.
Wrestling.
It's teams of 3 versus other teams of 3. It's not one person for Jeopardy anymore. So make sure you're watching on Amazon Prime.
I like
Pop Culture Jeopardy.
Who's the host?
I'm not sure. I was reading the article. It did not say a host, so I don't know if one has been announced yet.
Gotcha.
Have y'all watched that? What is it? The Deal No Deal?
Yeah.
That was fucking great. I
checked
watched
out an episode of that.
Yeah, that was a good one. I liked how they did that one.
Yeah, it's cool.
Mixture of their original Deal No Deal with a little mixture of Survivor.
Howie Mandel, bald as fuck like Brad.
Yeah.
Who, me?
That's up, and I bet you $1 against that damn case. That's what Brad looks like right now.
All right, number 2. So I forgot it in my demographic last week, so it's on me. But it's not too late. You can go back on Fight TV or Thriller TV and watch the NWA Crockett Cup, because that was last weekend. This weekend, as we're recording, last weekend as this drops. So make sure you check out the Crockett Cup.
Is there a cocaine spot?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But speaking of the NWA, Billy Corgan has recently came out on comicbook.com and announced that he would completely be accepting to a crossover with NXT. We know the NWA and NXT are both going to be on the CW, and he would love it.
So the NWA wants to work with the WWE. Go figure.
What are the odds?
I wonder why it's not the other way around. Good one, Devin.
All right. So here's a bonus one. I seen recently a clip from Cage Warriors. It's kind of like the UFC, but a smaller fighting company. Chris the Bad Guy Bungard. He paid tribute to Bray Wyatt with a cool entrance before he came out. He kind of was dressed like Bray Wyatt. He blew the lantern out, and then he had a pretty sick entrance. So I just want to shout out that entrance. It was really cool.
And the commentary mentioned it like, oh, that's a shout out to Windham Rotunda, formerly, known as Bray Wyatt, blah, blah, blah. So shout out to the commentary for mentioning it and everything too.
Yeah, that is cool. Good to point that out too.
They could have just been like, oh, look at this guy coming out, but they mentioned Windham Rotunda by name and everything.
Yeah, dropped him as the WWE wrestler. That was, yeah, it was a cool homage, I thought. My next one, I don't know if you guys seen it, but for about 12 hours, there was a portal from New York City to Dublin that got completely shut down when a woman decided to be a little too provocative in front of the camera. So I just want to put a PSA out there. Let's be kind and friendly to all of our friends across the pond. I mean, there was a guy on Dublin's side that was definitely enjoying the video that he was seeing. But besides the point, the government did not love it. So if we get another opportunity like this, let's not squander it.
Yeah, because someone on Dublin did show, a photo of the Twin Towers to people in New York, too. And that's a hell of a move,
True.
Shout out.
Shout out.
That's why we can't have nice things,
All right.
Yeah. All right. So for my final demographic of this week, this Sunday is AEW Double or Nothing. I have a few big matches that I'm pumped about. We have the Elite versus AEW in the all-out brawl. I forget what the match is called. But
Anarchy.
It's Anarchy in the arena. Thank you, Mike. It is absolutely insane. It's It's one to watch for sure. We also have Monet versus Willow that we were talking about a little bit earlier. That big TBS championship match that I think Willow's finally getting her shine with Mercedes Monet being that rival, making her AEW debut. We have Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black. You guys were a little sour about it. I am completely for this TNT championship match. Malachi took off Adam Copeland's ring and put it in his pocket. This feud is just getting intense, and it's going to have one more step inside this barbed wire steel cage.
I like how you mentioned that part, as a newlywed. So shout out.
That
son of a bitch took his ring.
Real quick, behind the scenes, we're watching the show. Erica does not watch Dynamite. It's always she's watching TikTok and in her phone. Malachi Black and Adam Copeland are on the screen, so she's kind of paying attention and sees Malachi take his ring. And that's when Erica's like, what the fuck? Literally. I was not expecting that. So shout out to Erica in my demographic this week. And the main event of AEW Double or Nothing, we have Swerve Strickland defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Christian Cage. This blood feud is going to take the screen, take the mat, and it's going to be absolutely insane. So
I agree.
That's my demographic, and make sure you're watching Double or Nothing this weekend.
And don't forget
Back
the
to
day
you,
before,
James.
the King and Queen in the ring.
Yeah,
the day
which
before.
be the same weekend.
The same weekend. Just
Yeah.
thought I'd mention that.
Well, I'm less hyped for that, clearly.
Great addition to the demographic.
I just knew it was
You
forgotten.
figure the demographic would mention that.
Big weekend in wrestling, Saturday, King of Queen in Saudi Arabia. AEW on Sunday.
And shout out JD Hoop.
Yeah.
Shout out JD. Hoop.
Always.
Shout out. That's toast.
But yeah, appreciate that, Devin. We will definitely be paying attention. And you know what else we're going to be paying attention on? Next week. So, Adam, your name is associated with this. What is next week?
So next week, I think we're going back to the indie scene. And actually, we're going to do a match that I got the pleasure of being a referee in. And Brian, would you do the honors for me? We're going to do Rolando Perez versus Cabana Man Dan.
That son of a bitch.
We talked about this rivalry a few months ago, and it culminates here. And I had the pleasure of doing this match. It was also a Haas qualifying match. So this was for the number 16th spot for the Haas tournament. So it's just a match that I really enjoyed being a part of. And it's about a 15-minute match or so, so this is going to be the only one I pick. But we're going to do a watch-along style also. So,
Yeah.
you know, we might have a special guest or two. You never know.
Oh,
So-
we're going to have that jackass on again?
I mean, you never know. Depends if they're not busy with whatever they're doing.
I like Cabana Man.
But
I like
match-
Cabana Man a bunch. I'm talking about
This match took place back February 3rd of this year. And it's on IWTV for We Love Pro Wrestling. If anybody wants to get a heads up or head start and kind of watch it, about an hour timestamp into the show. But the whole show is amazing because it all sets up for the Haas tournament for the next month. That happened March 1st, March 2nd. So I think it's a match y'all going to enjoy too, because I know none of y'all's got to see it yet. So watch along style next week, man. I'm happy we're going back to the independent shots, because this is one of my favorite ones I've got to ref.
Singing River Brewery. I think that's probably the arena we've mentioned the most on this show.
Yeah, that's where they do most of their shows. Now they're getting closer to my neck of the woods here lately, but that's the setup's good. You'll see during the match. It's a nice setup, and of course we got a friend of the show, Carmen Michael, commentating. So it's a good match. I'm really looking forward to it.
Shout out to Cabana Man Dan.
Shout out.
Rolando was on the show and completely fucking changed my opinion of him after talking to him. because he's a hard guy to hate. But for this sake, fuck that jackass. You know,
There you go.
fighting Cabana Man.
CMD.
They got years of rivalry. I mean, Perez took his name and actually called himself the real Cabana Man down for a while. So there's years of rivalry here, and it picks up in a big way here. And it's one of Cabana Man Dan's matches that he's really proud of also. So I think y'all really like it.
Great match, Adam.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh yeah. Well, does anybody have any closing thoughts? I guess it's time to bring it on home, as Led Zeppelin says. Really appreciate talking about Bray Wyatt. Obviously, we're probably going to talk about Bray Wyatt quite a bit on this show. So shout out to him and the Muscle Man dance and all that stuff. But sometimes like there are hardships that you have to face in life, and obviously the passing of someone before they got to tell their story is definitely a disheartening one. But his family, his wife, and children, hey man, they've kept on pushing on, and that's pretty much the only thing we can do. Obviously, you remember and you enjoy the memories that you have, but you don't concentrate on the bad. Just remember the good, and always keep moving forward, because that's what they would want you to do in reality. They don't want you to just wallow in your sorrows. They want you to progress and be the best that you can be. But there's only one way that you can be the best that you can be, and that is when life pins you down, you just kick out at two. That's what we do, and that's what you do on your show, the Kick Out Crew. So had fun. Appreciate everybody chiming in. And hey, we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Follow
Zowie Wowie.
the buzzer.